5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bonifay Banter podcast.
Damn. Yeah, we are live, episode 1 in Bonifay Banter Studios. We got my brother Shane sitting catty corner from me right now on Parks Bonifay, and guest number 1. I didn't know who to pick for the first one. I know we needed a heater. Ladies and gentlemen, I could go forever on his intro. Wastegate pioneer, foil lord, adrenaline junkie, explore more. Brian Grubb with 2 B's, baby.
Yeah, the name's just good enough. And all of the other attributes, you just say Brian Grubb. People know.
Yeah, boys.
Welcome, dude. Glad you came out. Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
In the pocket, dude. You're traveling, man. Where'd you last just get back from? You went to Fiji?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was probably the biggest trip I've done this year. I went over to Fiji to do some foiling on Namotu. Always wanted to go over there, and we set the trip up last year. And
sounds pricey.
Yeah, it was an expensive trip, but it was worth it.
Hey, good experiences have no, they're priceless.
Yeah, so yeah, I did that. Went snowboarding a couple times out in Utah. Went to the Bahamas for a couple days, and then last weekend we were running a foil surf race league event up in Pensacola.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
was this the 3rd year, or what? How many years have you done this?
The Cocoa Beach event we've been doing. This will be the 6th year, which is coming up this weekend.
The foil race league. Is that what it is? Is that
foil surf race league?
Yeah.
So we started like doing a format that's what was all racing, so no judging or anything. And then we've added like an expression session, like so guys can do tricks and stuff like that too. So it's kind of been growing the last couple of years. But
so you like to explain this? You pretty much like y'all are out there. There's a heat of guys out there, and then you have to catch a wave, and then you get to your foil, start pumping, and then you go down the beach, and go around some buoys, and then come back.
Yeah. So we have this area called the action box. It's like 100 yards long. So everyone like runs off from the beach, gets in the water outside the action box, and then you have to catch a wave, get up on foil, and then once you're inside the action box, you can only move like when you're up on foil. So you can pump or ride waves or kind of figure out how you want to do it. And then you get to the downstream boundary, and we have like a flagger that basically you cross that line, and then you can work your way back up the beach, and it's a 2-lap race.
Sick.
And you finish on the beach. So like, yeah.
How'd this one go? Usually the Gulf doesn't have pumping waves.
Yeah, we kind of knew we were probably going to get skunked up there, but there was an event up there.
You kind of planned on that, just like being like open, like if there's going to be no waves. At least the sand's white, and then the water's like crystal clear.
It's so nice up there. I don't know how we haven't gone up there and just like went e-foiling or something.
Shane knows about some Pensacola beats.
Yeah, we did a little Destin shoot a little bit ago, and
really?
it was exactly like there's some spots when it's the white sand, it's so clear.
Dude,
like it was so good.
They say best sand in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty white up there. And
or is that Destin?
Blue.
Is that Destin?
That's Destin, but I think it all kind of looks
it's in the same.
Destin needs a good motto like that, though.
Yeah.
What else?
There. Everyone knows Pensacola Beach, but yeah, so up there we did like a pump format. So we had like couldn't get up on a wave, like there was no wave, so it was flat. So we did like
dead flat.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Friday was like no wind. Like
how many people are out there?
We had like 10 in pro, and I think like 7 in open, and then we did like a SUP division.
That's cool.
But we did head-to-head heat, so 2 guys behind 1 ski, and then you drive like at the boundary line, and the ski stops at the boundary line, so you like try to get a good whip off the ski, and then it's like head-to-head pumping down like around the Redbull buoy, and then.
So instead of like paddling into waves, you use the ski, and then was there a guy on each side of the ski?
Yeah, so you had to pick like
right or
if
left.
You had a regular and a goofy footer, like you would just take the heel side one, but sometimes you get 2 goofy footers, so you had to like.
And then you just take the biggest fucking rip.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a way bigger rip off your heels, obviously. But most of the starts, like, were pretty consistent. Like, by the time you got to the line, they were crossing about the same time.
That sounds exhausting.
And then it just came to, like, like what wing you ride. Like, you want something fast. When it was windy, like, you needed, like, a little more wing to get back into the headwind. So, it was cool.
Was there some close ones? So you, like, come run? Like, what do you, like, get back to? Is there a finish line in the water or finish line, like, on the beach?
On the beach.
Yeah. Oh, sick.
So you got to come in and you got to get off your foil, like, on the beach and then run up, like, 20 feet up the beach. So there was a bunch of, like end of the races. Like I had one with Robbie Allen where I had him by like 30 feet foiling, and then I lost my board on the exit, and then he caught up, and then he like tripped right at the last second, right before the line, and I beat him by like
just a
2
buzzer
steps.
beater running up the sand.
Sick,
Nothing funnier than a bunch of people running with blades, just big old daggers.
Yeah, just might as well like light them on fire and like run up the beach.
In sand. Like make the sand soft and run up there with your.
There's no close calls like having 2 people out there, like no one really gets tangled up or anything.
Yeah,
like,
I got taken out once. I was going against this guy Billy, and Yeah, we came in and he went to like get his board out of the water and grab it, and he missed it, so his board shot right in front of me. I had to like jump over his board, and so yeah. But yeah,
Where's
I mean,
the future of foil racing going? Like considering how like young from e-foils to regular foils, it just seems like there's like, what's the kite like kind of like one? There's probably
wing
that
foiling.
wing foiling. There's got to be like downwind, like cross country, like island to island. There's got to be like crazy e-foil races in the future. There's got to be like.
Well,
There's got to be like so many genres of like just foil racing in the future that
yeah, this event that we were at, it's called Foiling Week. These guys have been running these like sailing foil sailboat races in Europe.
Oh, sick.
So they brought us in to run an FSRL event up
Right.
there, but they were doing e-foiling and pumping and wing foiling and all that stuff. So it was a pretty cool event. And then, yeah, I mean, if we had waves, it would have been more fun, but we had a pretty fun format. Everyone had a good time and gave out some prize money and stuff. So it was cool.
You know, he should not invite to that event as this guy. My pumping skills. How's your pumping skills, Shane? Can you figure it out?
I haven't figured out the pump. Like I get it going and then it just dies. Like I don't feel the transition.
That's where I'm at.
Like everybody's like, you got to feel that, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I've been to Grubb's foil camp. Haven't figured it. My knees don't like it, and it seems like. But I think my technique's like definitely wrong too.
I look good on a foil.
There's
I
definitely
just
a
not
technique
the.
to it.
Grubb, give us a 15 seconds to the people out there a pump tip to advancing
tip?
your pump in foiling.
You want to start with as much speed as you can, either coming off the wave or off a whip off the rope, and then you kind of just want to like try to maintain that speed by keeping your wing as high as you can, like close to the surface.
Because it has less drag when it's at the top. So if
Yeah.
you can get your pump starting from the top and pump and then back up to the top again,
Yeah,
pump.
yeah, small pumps close.
See,
to
I
the,
just
close to the
slowly
surface.
sink down. To
Yeah, the
this
deeper
and
it gets,
like
like the more mast is in the water, and then there's more drag and stuff too. So, but yeah, there's a technique to it, but it's fun. Depends what wing you ride to. Like those high aspect wings work a lot better than the surf wings. They pump longer and stuff, but they turn slower. So yeah, equipment comes into a lot of it with those races too.
Get any good waves in Fiji?
It wasn't great there. I mean, it was fun, but nothing big.
What size foil do you're the faster you go, the bigger the wave. You need to ride a smaller foil
Smaller the wing, yeah.
because it's going to want to come up on you.
Yeah, you get
Shane,
less
do you have one of those clips of Grubb riding like
Yeah,
some
we got the
bigger
yeah.
waves? They're like, I forget this was where did you just go for Dishman's bachelor party?
Oh, Chicama.
Is this it?
Oh yeah, this is Chicama right here. Yeah, longest left in the world.
This is the
a big
longest.
wave.
Yeah, this wave is about double overhead.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to get this big this trip, so I didn't bring a small enough wing. I was riding like a 92 Havoc, which is a lift wing, which I can ride in like chest high surf too. So everything is a little bit slow on these, but
Oh, the mountains
But
in the
still
background. You
so
are cooking
fun.
on that thing. So you're just trying to you have so much speed that you're just trying to fade out all your speed to
yeah.
stay in the pocket.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
going
much.
so fast that I can't even like really turn yet. So you got to like get to in front of the wave to get off the transition.
That drone
you
shot
can
was sick.
start
Who shot
turning.
that?
Yeah, so Chicama's pretty sick. Like there's this really cool hotel down there that you stay at, and then there's like two groups of guys that shoot drone all day down there. So you give them like a couple $100 for the week, and they
What?
shoot everything.
That's
for you.
That
pretty
sounds like the
sick.
best deal ever.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I love
And
when
we-
somebody finds a niche and they're like, I'm just going to hang out here on the
Dude,
beach and
oh,
just
it's
Shout
pretty
out to
cool.
those boys. Dude.
And that wave's like, yeah. And that wave's like 2 miles long, and they fly from like basically close to the hotel, so that they're like a mile away, flying drone, and there's 3 drones in the air the whole
And then
time.
you just get back to the hotel and they give you your
yeah,
clips.
they give you all your clips.
They're probably
So
sitting
sick.
in the
So
living room. They're just sitting there,
Yeah,
like
they're
don't even
chilling.
move all day. They just have an arsenal of batteries, just racking up $200. a
But I'm
week.
like,
Oh, I
man, they're
love
gonna
that.
crash at some point, and they never do. It's crazy.
I love that.
So yeah, we got a bunch of clips from that trip.
No,
It was fun.
that's
We were
a
there
sick
like
clip.
1 foot, and then like 8 foot like that. It was insane, but like 10-minute rides. Such a long wave. It's like a tanker wave, pretty much, but in the ocean.
That's a serious leg burn.
It's a
10
leg
minute,
burner.
10 minute.
Yeah.
The Tanker Boy trips were so sick. Those were the best.
Dude, we were talking about that last weekend. Yeah. Such a fun.
Talk
foil
about a
trip.
different way of because when you go on a surf trip, you're looking at the weather, you're looking at the pressure, the wind, like everything, the tides, and like this has like almost nothing to do like the way, but you are checking like
you're
a
on the
legit
ship app.
You're on the ship app. It's like you do you still check that? Do you
I look
do you
at
still have it?
occasionally, Yeah. for
So what do
sure.
you look for like when you're like looking for what's a good ship like? Because there's only like 4 or 5 a day.
Yeah.
And
they
so
can-
you're like the day before, we're like, I remember like y'all are looking at the schedule. You're like, we got one at 7:30, We got one at 8:45. There's not another one till 11, and then we have 2 more in the evening.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that first trip, we had that guide with us, that guy Joe.
Yeah,
And
Captain Joe.
Captain
Shout
Joe.
out Joe.
Shout out to Joe. But
Rest in peace.
he taught us how to do it. But he was a captain.
He
Or he was
did.
a,
I
That's
didn't
away
know.
the year after.
yeah. We
Think
tried-
that's funny, Shane?
No, I just didn't know if you even knew that it. Like, I thought you were just saying rest in peace. Like, in
No,
case
I know he passed
died,
away.
so-
That's why I
okay.
say usually
All
when I
right.
say
was
rest in peace, like
on
they're
that trip.
man, that's a bold. I didn't know. You knew.
Yeah, I was just taking a stab at the dark.
I thought you were. I was like, oh.
But when we went with him, he was a pilot before, so he knew when the ships were going to be coming from which side. Remember, there was like you could go out to the dike and
Right.
like by the inlet, or you could start on the other side, like where they park them up there. So, but yeah, the container ships were always the best ones. But yeah, the loaded natural gas boats were good, and some of the tankers.
You're
and
looking like
stuff.
how deep they sit in the water, how fast they're going.
Yeah, how fast they're going in the draft. Yeah.
Where's this at?
It's in
Galveston,
Galveston,
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
It was hard to get out there
And
too.
that's
Like
a-
you had to
Fun
drop in. You'd go out there and you're just sitting like waiting, and then you don't really know how good the wave is going to be, like
Or where it's going to
or
show
where
up.
it's going to
And-
break. Or
And
like
you're on
kinda
surfers or like wake surfers or foil?
No, we were foiling.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
Traditionally, Captain Joe and them, they did it on longboards in the past.
Yeah.
But
It's a way better
But
foil
it's
wave.
I mean, it's good as cool as you can do it on a longboard. There, foiling is like
We blew his mind.
it's
with
like
the foils.
it's
He's
like
"What is this?"
1,000. It's like 1,000-foot wide kind of like wave that's just like almost crumpling.
Yeah.
Like it's just
That's
it's a
very
sick
cool.
foil wave. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'd love to go do that again. That was a fun one.
I remember when I was like I was flying drone and we were on the boat and the wave is chasing us. We're going like 20 miles an hour. This wave's coming at us. And all of a sudden, and we're in the middle of nowhere, like in the water too. Then all of a sudden my battery gets low and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, we gotta
Catch it.
stop. He's like, and the captain goes, we are not stopping right now. Like we're capsizing 100%. So I was like, and I've never done a hot like landing before, but I quicked it on ATT mode and then flew it back and then ended up
I remember
catching it
that.
while we were like going and brought it down. I was like,
Gotta
Yeah.
respect.
well, there's a lot on the card too.
Yeah.
Too. The worst thing is like
Lose
losing a
all the
card.
clips.
Like
yeah. Gotta respect a good drone grab at
Yeah.
a speed
At
too.
speed,
yeah,
yeah.
at speed. Appreciate that.
Bear tells me this story all the time on the card that y'all lost up in the springs when you were shooting through the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the way you feel about
Well, that was
that.
at Rainbow River. Yeah, we put a GoPro like on the tail wing, so you could see like
On an e-foil?
on an e-foil, yeah. But at Rainbow River, it's like super clear water and all that eelgrass and stuff. And we like got this shot of like carving through the eelgrass like right above it, and like we looked at all the clips, and then we're like, okay, let's like try this other mount, And I don't even know.
Took it for granted.
I was like, should we change the card? I don't even know if we said that or not, but we basically just
Oh, in retrospect, you definitely said.
We should have, but yeah, then that mount fell off and we lost the camera and we sat up there for an hour. Like, I mean, the eelgrass just swallows everything, you can't find it, but
Just eats it.
so we lost it and we haven't done that shot since, but
There's been a
It
lot of
was
good
rad.
clips at bottom of lakes.
yeah. Yeah, switch those cards out.
Steele lost one at Powell. He was super mad about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember you telling me this.
He shot for, yeah, I mean, it was a sick ass trip. Shot for a few days and then,
Was that this year?
yeah.
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
Yeah, you like sunk into
such
the
a
water.
bummer.
You're super mad. He like chunked his vest, and then Paige is like, I think he lost his GoPro. I go, no. We were like 1,000 feet away. I go, no, I lost the card for the trip. Kind of like mad. Yeah, no one really gets that mad if you lose a GoPro, but if you lose a card,
Yeah. It's more valuable than the
that
camera.
hurts.
You only lose a card once though.
That's true.
Then you learn real hard. You go, all right, we're not testing that. We're not using it for a second day without dropping that card.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
Shane was just showing me the photo. Well, let's go back to like how you got into like water skiing and stuff because you were from you're New Hampshire,
yeah.
Yep, and then you
Nashville.
moved down here
Yeah.
when you're younger. But let's like kind of get into like a little bit of that, and like we can start off with this photo that Shane has. It's
Well, there's this one.
I mean, look
Look
at
at that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved going on the boat. Yeah, I learned how to water ski when I was 5 with my grandparents in Indiana. Oh, damn. 95.
Did your mom and dad ski much
Boys 3. Yeah, my dad skied a little bit.
up in New Hampshire?
No, mostly in Indiana. Like, had some family there and stuff. Had boats there.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Camille Duval, Marco. That was at Sammy Duval Ski School. That was like the first ski school I ever went to. I was like 12, I think.
How's those danskin suits? Those are sick.
That was an era.
Yeah, that was an era.
Duval skis and
Yeah.
Danskins and
Go to the day.
Spray
Go
legs.
to the day we met. Photo, Shane. That one was.
yeah, that was I did one slalom.
How old were you then? You think
I was 12.
we were 12?
Yeah, there it is.
So yeah, this is the
Barnett
first
Park.
Barnett Park
Oh,
ski tournament. This is
That
the first.
was
This is the
the
first
day.
day I met Grubb.
Yeah.
This
Shane
is the
too.
day I cut my. This is the same
The
tournament
date.
where I jumped my personal best and jump 103 feet, and then a super psyched walking to the shore in the water.
Yeah.
And I cut my toe wide open.
Well, and you went out the front and kicked your skis off in the air.
Why are you bringing up old shit? Because
it was amazing.
No, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
This was like my
Wait,
first.
I kicked him off. That was the one. I remember doing that. I can't
yeah,
remember.
That
what
was
it
the
a-
same contest.
Damn, that crash and a PB
And a PB.
and a
Not
cut
bad.
and a cut.
is this
Because that was my first water ski contest ever.
This
That
is
was-
probably
that was
90.
boys 2, 90,
Four or
no,
three?
92, 93.
is
Yeah.
this when you stopped me from getting in a fight with a little 14
I
year
think
old?
that was the
13-year-old?
next year. I think that was the next
I was
year.
telling
Really?
you.
It could have been that year, but I don't know. I didn't look too tough then. I didn't.
That was
I mean,
insane.
I think that was super odd. Like I want to say that I was in a fight with like a
Wait, how old were you?
The softball.
well,
crew.
yeah, like I was very young, and I remember I was playing with this kid on the playground, and we were like wrestling or whatever, and I got him in a headlock, and his nose started bleeding, and he like ran off, and I was like, oh, like, and there's a bunch of us kids, there's like probably
Yeah.
6, and he runs off, and then like 5 minutes later, what felt like me at that time is a mob of people. It's probably only 6 people, but this kid came back with his older brother, his dad, and like some other people that were at a softball event or a baseball event. And
Sounds
they
like something
show
you
up.
see on Instagram.
Yeah, and they show up, and dad points to the older brother. The younger brother's the one with the busted nose. Dad points to the older brother, and he's like, "Go get him!"
Yeah,
Or like,
Where,
yeah.
where am
Kick
I
his
at?
ass.
Where am I at? Hopefully, this
Yeah.
is the year with a cut foot.
And it's insane.
Probably what happened. Yeah.
So like, I start fighting this kid's older brother, and
Damn,
and,
Shane.
yeah, he
You're in the
does-
trenches, dude.
I was in the trenches, and he pulled this move where he like goes to shake my hand, and as
That's
he
what I
shakes
re-
my hand,
that's
and
what
then
I
he punches
remember.
Me, he goes left jab on me.
That
Like,
was
why
the
would-
messed up thing. I remember
Yeah.
walking up towards the end. I don't think I remember seeing the first part, but I walked up towards the end, and like they were like, the dad was like, "Y'all shake hands." So Shane literally goes in to
Yeah.
shake this kid's hand. Shane's like way smaller than this
way,
kid too,
way tiny.
and goes to shake this kid hand, and the kid does the old pull the hand back and tries to punch him with the other one, dude.
It was,
It was bonkers.
and then honestly, it's years later.
Florida 3 event tournaments, baby. Shout out.
It's years later, but I don't know when the conversation got brought up, but that did. And Grubb's like, yeah, I was the one that came in and stopped the fight.
I was trying to help you out.
You were probably that big. I
Yeah.
don't think, but you were bigger than the other kid that I was
Grubb
fighting.
wasn't taller. He was taller than me, like, well, still is, but
Still skinny.
But yeah, that was awesome. And I
That
haven't
was
been in many
crazy.
fights in my time, so to have one under the belt where it's like known at an event and Grubb stops it, like people.
well, someone
knew.
saw it. I don't think if anyone saw this,
Yeah.
that people would believe it.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's a wild one.
I mean, we're still talking about it.
We're still. I haven't thought about that old handshake
was
fucking
crazy.
move.
It's a
That was
good move.
what a
I mean, if
shiesty.
you're going for like a little sucker punch,
To
but it's a
who?
good.
But is that
one.
cool? Like in 1993, I don't think that thing is frowned upon nowadays.
At the time afterwards, I was like,
I'm gonna use that.
I respect that. Like he went for it. He was
Yeah, but
losing.
clearly that guy was like, I don't trust this little dude.
But it's also a kid that like didn't come up with that move. His dad probably, and his dad's like throwing him into the fight, like go beat
His
up this
dad
little kid.
instigated the whole thing,
Somebody
for
taught him
sure.
that move, and that kid's like, oh yeah. After the fight, be like, good fight.
Well,
Shake hand.
if I remember,
One
if you
more.
go to Barnett Park, we played disc golf there all the time, still to
Yeah.
this day. But like, there's a 3 event tournament going on with like the whole water ski like industry in that crowd. But about like 150 other feet over, there's like people grilling up and been day drinking since about like 9:30. So you don't know what kind of
yeah,
riffraff's going to run into a Barnett Park down there, baby.
I know what type of riff raff.
Yeah, Shane knows firsthand.
Yeah,
You
Just
met 'em all.
secondhand.
I roll in the trenches. Nah, that's good.
But yeah, that was the day.
How much did you learn from like 3 event? Like, how much do you think that applied to like your skills within like wake skating, wakeboarding, and kind of just like fundamentally or
I mean, I think it taught a lot of discipline. You know, getting up early to ski and
yeah?
going to ski school, trying to get more buoys. Like, you know, yeah, I put a lot of time into it, and I really only focused on slalom skiing. You know, I tried to trick for a little bit, but that's when wakeboarding was coming out and started to get into that more. So I only trick skied for like a season or something. Never really liked it that much.
We got a little
Jumped
bit
like
of this.
twice and Ate shit. Oh yeah, there's my
That's
first.
your-
board.
That doesn't look like you just jumped twice, right? That actually looks a lot like your shifty that you do, like on your way scared today, dude. It's kind of sick, actually.
Yeah, that's probably where it's.
I bet
started.
you probably have the same face if you like look at your face.
I always have weird faces in photos. That hasn't changed ever.
You also got some gloves.
Dude, the
which I
HO
respect.
Pro. That's a
Sick gloves,
those are.
freestyle
I bet that
watch.
has straps on it too.
Oh yeah, those are the bungee straps.
See, everyone wore gloves back then. Everyone picks on me for some.
Yeah,
Maybe I wore them a
everyone
little too long.
Yeah, the handle,
you went hard with that.
the
one.
handles suck back then. You had to get some grip somehow.
Are you wearing 3 watches? How many watches you got on there?
No, just one. One freestyle watch.
Oh yeah, gotta love a good freestyle shark.
Yeah, I was kitted out from performance. I had all the shit from there.
Oh, performance
Spent all
hooked
my,
up,
all
dude.
my money
That's
at
like
that place.
oh, they were they were
Oh, yeah,
strapped.
those
Look at that
straps.
fin too.
Yeah, nice.
Performance was the best back in the like. I mean, they're
So
still.
good.
They're timeless. They're great.
Yeah.
Still this day. But back when you were like 10 or 12 and you would go to performance and they had their like booth set up at Pro Tours, and Bill was just man.
Such
it
a
was
great guy.
that was such such a great guy and such a great era of just you would walk in there. The old performance was like so
awesome.
sick. It was like
Yeah.
he had so
gear.
much stuff in there. You worked there for a while, didn't
Yeah, I
you?
worked there for 4 years. Yeah.
Damn.
I met Bill. I think going to like the Bud tours, like, and my dad would be like, "Yeah, help him clean up at the end of the week, and maybe he'll give you like, because remember he always had those cool shirts and stuff,
Yeah.
like all the Bud shirts and
Yeah.
like all like the theme shirts and stuff." So
I bet his closet. I bet if you go in, or his attic, maybe not. I don't know why you keep it in your closet, but
he's got.
I bet he's got
I got a couple of those
arsenal
old
of
ones, too.
stuff. Like,
Yeah, but yeah, I started working.
where's
there
it at, Bill?
16, and yeah, I worked there through college or halfway through college. Yeah, but yeah, it was awesome back then. Everyone would, that's when everyone was riding like Wiley boots, and so you had to like fix that stuff all the time. And so I was like working on all the pros boots and meeting everybody, and yeah, everyone came through that shop. So
Yeah.
that's how like I met a lot of people in the industry.
Right.
And all that
We
stuff.
had HJ Water Toys down in Winter Haven,
Not quite
which-
the same.
Not quite the same, but that's where you gotta respect for performance, because you'd go to HJ Water Toys and it was just shit, and then you go to performance and you're like, this is
what it's supposed
to look
what
like.
it's supposed to be. But
Yeah, and all the movies are playing in there, like on all the screens, So I'm
The
like
vibe
in there
was
working,
so
but
good.
I'm like watching all the movies
Yeah.
all day and just like
and the vibe whenever
Yeah,
you're
it was
young
sick.
and you're meeting people that are like you and like the other people that work at the shop, like it's so cool. Like even in like middle school or whatever, you're like, I hope I work for them one day. Like that's your dream.
Yeah.
You're like, that seems like such a cool. They're just hanging out watching wakeboarding videos and just talking
Shooting the shit,
wakeboard all
yeah.
day. It's like that's what I want to be when I grow up. Just a shop guy.
yeah. That was a good era at the shop too. Like
But those
Billy Benedict.
yeah, Billy Benedict, George Davis,
George
Jared
Davis.
Fox,
Chancey.
Billy Van,
Chancey.
Monica.
Yeah, man.
No,
Yeah.
but
That was like a good era at the shop, and yeah, I was like the youngest guy there, so it was cool.
Young Grubb.
Yeah, it was cool.
This is
So
kid
fun.
with 2 B's on his name.
But yeah, performance still killing it.
Let's get into some of the Florida run
Oh yeah,
the trips that we did, because this is the kind of a concept that like kind of Bear and Grubb kind of like, and I kind of like roughly came up with, but then Red Bull like got behind it like from the start.
Yeah.
And these are pretty much trips to where we wanted to go through. Well, I mean, we spent so much time on lakes here in Florida to where I feel like we're so familiar with like just like I grew up on a chain of lakes, and we all are really familiar with our home lakes, but like to get off our home lakes and go explore through, and Florida is literally the best place
Yeah.
to do this with intercoastals on both sides, the Florida Keys, the St. Johns River. There's so many ways to get through this thing that I've personally, being a Florida boy here, I've never got to experience. So that was like one of the sickest things. And it was like, we always had a really sick crew on these ones, man. And that's but honestly, to anyone out there, that's the way to do it. Get in your wakeboard boats and go exploring and get off the.
yeah.
Life starts right outside of the comfort zone, and it wasn't always comfortable. It always, there's a couple good sketchy situations.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get in on those trips. Yeah, I
That's
did
the
that
thing.
trip, that voyage trip where we went from Knoxville, Tennessee to Mobile, Alabama. It was like 1,000 miles
On the Mississippi.
like on the Tennessee River,
Oh.
and then there's this canal that like goes down. I forget the name of it, but yeah, it was like 3 weeks long. But that was the first time
Damn.
I ever did a trip like on wakeboard boats like that, and man, it was so fun. And I was like, so I was like, man, we should do this in Florida. And then when we found out that you could cross like from the Gulf to the Atlantic, like through Okeechobee,
That was the first one.
like the
Fort
Caloosahatchee,
Myers to
Fort Myers
Jupiter, pretty
over.
much, right?
I was like, we got to do that one. That one's like the sickest one. So we just threw that trip together like on a shoestring budget too. Like we shot that all on our own too.
Yeah, that was kind of like
Bear went,
you
but,
shoot
like,
a pilot cheap, and then we like kind of sold. We did like 4 other ones after that, but
That might have, I don't know. They were all pretty fun, but that one was pretty.
that one
sick.
was
like,
kind of like
because it had locks and like that fish camp we went to on the South Shore Okeechobee. That was a wild night. Like the most random place
you were in
ever, dude.
Dude, they have to
Best
drive.
pool I
They
ever
have to
played
drive
at.
like 45 minutes to get to like a Walmart or like any type of grocery store or anything. Like it, they
This
are.
whole
Crazy.
little
They
town
are
is surrounded
out
by
there, dude.
water, and we're like, oh, you guys don't have police or anything on it? We're like, nah. Like we just park a van on the bridge if we don't want anyone to come out here.
That's
Like,
awesome.
It was crazy. And then
Going through those locks, there's so much like water moving around. Like water's going like up and down. I remember one time we were tied up to the side, and we pull in, the water's high, so we're going down. So you would tie up and you'd put the rope on the cleats right there. So we're just chilling, and all of a sudden, but it takes a while for like we were waiting for like 10 or 15 minutes, nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it starts going, and you don't realize that it's going. You realize it's going in on the other side, but like if you're on the top, it just goes down. There's no turbulence or anything, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there, and the boat starts like. I'm like, are we leaning? We're definitely leaning. And I look back, and Steele's like still on his phone, and he has it hooked to the back cleat. And now the boat's getting like lifted up out of the water from the back right thing, and like it starts to go. I think he like, thank God, I think I was going for a knife in the glove box, but still ended up getting it off the cleat, and then it just went back down. But
remember we had to cut the boat.
I would have been just dangling from a
Remember we had to cut the boat apart that one time? We had the boats tied up and we were idling. And one of those big fishing boats came, and we were like, we'd made it over some like smaller rollers before, and we were using that really crappy line on the front. And so we had the boats tied up like in like 5 miles an hour, just cruising, like making lunch or whatever. And then the front, like we go over these rollers, and the front line breaks, and the back boat's like, remember they came together? And I was driving, I had to run to the back and cut the dock line to like separate the boats.
You're right. That one was so sketchy.
Crazy, yeah.
And we pulled into that fish camp where that crazy storm came in. We like ran for our lives.
Yeah.
And then you ended up beating that old school dude in pool for a t-shirt for the local bars.
Pool I've ever played.
That was the best, dude.
That was
Grubb came alive, dude. Lights out. And this is like the local pool shark, dude. This dude has been beaten since like 91, probably.
I bet him for, they had like merch there, so I was like, yeah, I'll play you for a t-shirt, and I won that shit.
Grubb walked out of there with that medium t-shirt, dude.
I was hoping that he stole the shirt off of his bat. Made him.
I think he wanted my shirt. He got kind of weird at the end, but
look at that jawline, dude. Come on.
Those guys got a little weird after a few beers. We had to get out of there. But that place was cool, and the riding on that trip was sick because you're in canals the whole time, or like rivers. Remember crossing Okeechobee though? That was nuts.
The
foil came off.
The foil came off your thing. This is like when the waves were so big and the intervals were so small, to where you literally almost couldn't stop the boat. Like as soon as you stopped the boat, like water would come like right over it. You almost had to like turn sideways and almost like let it come like over the back or this. Like I don't know how we tried to stop. Like I watched your foil fall off and I was like, oh shit, his foil fell off. So I like went to stop and we took a roller over the nose. I was like, no.
Yeah.
We had to like put weight in the back of the boat to keep the nose up, go about like 12 miles an hour wake surf speed, and we're just going bam, bam, bam. Like
that was insane.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like your average person could make this.
That was like the first time we actually like, put foils like in the bimini and stuff.
Yeah, we just got foils. Like
we've done it for years now, but that was the first time to where like, is this gonna hold? And
well, yeah, I remember we sent your boat. Your boat was a little bigger than mine, so we sent you out first. So we were just gonna stay behind you, and you were gonna like break all the water, and then. Yeah, as soon as we get into like the roughest part, the foil comes off. Jake Ramsdale's in the boat with me.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, the foil came off. And I'm like, oh my God. And you're like right on the edge of the shore and the wind's blowing everything. You're in this channel. The lake's really shallow. So we basically had like one pass to like pick this thing up. So Jake like puts a life jacket on. And he was like, all right, we got one pass. So we turn and we came around and he somehow grabbed this thing and gets it. But now, Parks couldn't stop. So now we're like on our own basically. And remember when you went past that marina, all the backwash?
Right.
So now, like, when it was just like the wind rollers, like, you could go slow and kind of keep it up. And then you you went by this marina that had this big seawall.
Huge seawall. So all
so
these
now you're
wind
getting,
rollers
like,
are
this-
bouncing straight off.
So now
it's
you're
like
getting
spines.
this backwater.
Like 8-foot spine just
bro.
going
all over the place.
I'm like-
just at random spots. It just
Bro,
keeps
I
popping.
thought for sure I was gonna sink my boat. Like, I don't know how we made it through there. And then we get to the lock on the other side. It was like an hour and a half of just like the roughest water ever. And then we get in that river and it's just like perfect. That was crazy.
What I thought was crazy is when they open up the lock, it's like the seawall's right there, and they open up the lock, and these rollers are like 4 or 5 foot, like rolling into here, and it's hitting water that's like completely as still as a pool,
Yeah.
which you never really see. Crazy big water meeting like completely still water on an open of a gate right there, and it just did like the weird, like it really just like
dissipate.
diffused. Yeah, it
Yeah.
just ate the energy of it.
That was cool.
That is cool.
That was a fun one. But they were all
My
pretty fun.
favorite one was the Florida run where we did Titusville, or no, we did St. John's River, Sanford, all the way up to Jacksonville, freshwater all the way up Swampy, and then cut over to Jacksonville, and then back down the Intercoastal all the way to
North Florida Loop.
the North Florida Loop. That's the one.
Florida Loop. That was a good one. That was the
So
longest one we
swampy.
did.
It's
too.
so different. There's so many different faces of Florida. We running north, and it was like gators and cypress trees and like turtles and just like springs and swamp and just like. And then you turn the turn up there, and then it's all of a sudden just
Turns into
boozy houses and yachts and like
Yeah, it was
it's just
cool.
salt water and dolphins. It was like crazy. Remember that wave we saw that was like in the inlet?
Yeah,
We went down
that
this little
Matanzas.
channel and we came back. There's like this little sandbar right there, and this yacht just happened to be coming like plowing.
Yeah.
Huge old yacht plowing and turning,
Big
just
sport fish.
lassoing this little sandbar, dude. And this wave broke. No one got it. No one videoed it. And because everyone was like fucking paralyzed for like 5 seconds, dude. Everyone was like,
Oh,
seriously. Like, I was like, I reached for my phone and it was like done. I was like,
yeah, that was at Matanzas.
made me realize we got to go back there and
Yeah,
do
because
that.
you're like you go off of the Intercoastal because there's like that fort there. So we went to like look at the fort. So we were like on the inside of that sandbar. That's why we were there. And then yeah, that huge boat came through. That big sport fish
Damn, that was big.
looked like Slater's wave pool. It was crazy.
You know what's cool on those trips is like when you wake, and this never really happens anywhere you ride or anything, but like you keep on going. Like you never, ever, ever, unless you fall, that's the only time you're turning around and looking back. Like you're literally always looking forward. You see buildings come, you see bridges come, and then you see them go. You see lighthouses come, then they go. But like everything's just coming at you like
That's cool.
a long time lapse almost, and you never really see the same spot twice. It's really
It's really fun.
fucking cool thing.
That is cool.
Yeah.
No, those trips look a lot of fun. I really like the content that you guys get from all that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, those
It's a
were
cool
fun.
vibe.
Yeah, we always had a different crew with us too, so like changed it up. It was fun. I remember Bear told me he's like, you realize we've been under every bridge on the east coast of Florida?
Really?
I'm
That's
like,
gotta
yeah, I guess we have. Pretty crazy. Yeah, because we went from Mayport all the way down, pretty much.
I do that
To
all the
Miami.
time when I'm driving in Florida. I go over a bridge and I look down and be like,
Went over
that was it.
one,
That was
went
it.
under
That was
that one.
that one.
Yeah, those trips were fun. The Keys one.
Yeah,
was
the
pretty nice.
longest time I ever spent on a boat was when we did that thing with Colin Harrington's parents and on that
Oh,
boat
yeah.
down to the BVI's. Like
That
was a
one
big
was
old
sick.
shoot.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were on that boat for like a while.
Was that
But it wasn't-
was that the Alliance trip that we
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, but I think that was almost 2
I didn't get
You
the
didn't
invite.
go. I remember.
was gonna
Grubb's
say, I
Grubb's
remember.
still to this
Somehow
day
I
super
didn't
sour
get my
about that.
invite on that one.
yeah, it was mostly all of his pointless boys, and then not Grubb.
No wake skating in the salt water this time.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. The conditions of us riding out there and stuff wasn't too much, but
That was an adventure. Though.
it reminded me
Fun.
whenever you said you lost the foil, we lost a jet ski on that trip in the middle of the ocean.
No
Like a
way.
jet ski came untied, and we realized
Like
about
towing
I was just telling this the other day.
Yeah.
You know, well,
It was
Ruck,
crazy.
this is actually great because Ruck went outside to go pee. We're all playing poker inside. So Ruck went to go pee. He was the last one to tie up the ski. He was like checking it. And so, or no, he tied it up, went into someone else, Colin came out to go pee. And he goes, hey, the Sea-Doo comes back in. Sea-Doo's fucking missing. Who was the last one to tie it up? And like everyone like looks at Ruck. He's like, yeah, that might have been me. So
And you guys were motoring.
no, we're anchored, but we're in the
No.
we're
No.
no we're
I'm pretty sure we're motoring. I think we're going.
No, 100%. We're sitting still because this is how we find it. Because Colin's dad goes like this. He lets go of the other
Louis?
ski.
Oh.
No, he takes the other ski. You don't know where the current's going or anything.
Right.
So he takes the other ski, unties it, puts a light on that ski, and he goes, "Let's wait 15 minutes. We can start looking now, but let's see where this ski goes in reference to the boat, and then you scale up from that."
Okay, yeah.
So we waited. After 30 minutes, we knew exactly where the ski was in reference to the boat. So we actually found the ski in the pitch dark with spotlights, like about a mile, like further than that ski.
Yeah, but you had to go.
That's how you
Genius
do
way
it.
of like.
You had to
Yeah,
go
that's how you do
on
it.
Colin's dad, like Stormy's a shout out, Stormy, dude.
Yeah.
You're a G ship
But
captain,
where the
man.
where the jet ski or the light was like going, you're like, okay, we gotta go directly in that direction, and then you'll find the ski within, a few hundred.
We
feet
found
or
it.
Whatever. That was pretty wild that we found it. I definitely didn't think we were going to find it.
It's a big ocean.
It's a big ocean.
Let's get into a little bit of the old school wakeskate days because I think like the was it Lake Georgia, like when Byerly lived out there. I think like
Yeah, that was a good
I think
time.
like that was such a magical time. But like I think like even you, because you're a really good wakeboarder. Like back in the day, people don't even really like have like. I mean,
I was all right.
you
You were you were good.
you won the Ollie contest at the projects, dude. Like, no, but like, I mean, you were, and this was a time like, and I think it was like, there wasn't really, besides Byerly and like kind of like Thomas and Drew, but like there really hasn't, wake skating wasn't like super huge at the time. So the fact that you like had almost this kind of like promising career within wakeboarding, like the way you were going to like kind of like hang it up and like right when you started to like,
Yeah.
accelerate in wakeboarding, just a wake skate. I think the tip of the cap to you because it was a ballsy thing to do. And I think it maybe nowadays it makes sense to like, oh, I'm more into wake skating, but now you have like two options to pick from. Like back then, it really wake skating doesn't, it wasn't what it is like kind of like is today. And it was just
No, I remember when you decided to wake skate. I was like, I didn't think that it was like as fruitful as what you made it because I was like, you're not going to be able to do as much on a wake skate as you can on a wakeboard, and we're all about doing as much as we can. And it was wild, but I loved it.
ballsy switch. Yeah, I admire it though.
That was when, rails were coming out more and we were starting to build a lot of stuff. And I was working at Performance at OWC. So I was riding there every day and was getting kind of bored wakeboarding. And we had just built like that flat bar out there and they had that pipe ramp and stuff. So I started wake skating out there a lot.
And
So
those are the first rails at OWC. Just pretty much that incline
which
and
we
the
helped
flat.
build
Right.
and stuff too. And then, so I was doing tons of laps out there, all the flat water tricks, like learning.
Is that 99, 2000 probably?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in college, but I was coming back to work at the shop. And I came back to UCF then, I think. But yeah, I started hitting rails on a wake skate. And I was like, bro, this is way better. This is sick.
When did they have? Remember?
But I learned all the flat water tricks on the cable too, and then started learning.
Remember
stuff,
Big
learning
Red?
stuff on the boat.
The biggest red
course.
kicker at OWC. This thing was
We
like
built that too.
our dimensions were fucking way off. All that. I don't know.
No, they were perfect.
Yeah, right, dude. This is
That kicker
this thing
was
is-
awesome.
Dude, there's not a kicker on a cable anywhere across the world right now. I think is this
Triple
big.
XL, baby.
Dude, not even that big. This thing was probably like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, but you could land with speed. It worked.
No, whenever you saw
Bro,
Grubb,
that
I think you're the only one who can land with speed.
when you saw Grubb bomb off of the roof, the top roof of the carrier spot, like
Yeah,
where,
the
and
top,
then bomb off of that or acid drop, land, cut out, and then hit the kicker on the wake skate, you were like,
dude, you would do the
The
biggest
fuck?
cab fucking
Yeah.
180, like 80 foot, like cab
So
180s.
big.
how big do you think the kicker was then? Do you think it was like
It was 8 foot.
8 foot?
Was it really 8 foot?
It's a big kicker.
I just blew my knee out thinking about that.
I mean, think about even a big unit
Yeah.
kicker is like 4 feet probably. You
And
know
it-
what I mean? Like
To
And
the
it had
moon
a
on
ton of
those things.
transition too.
Yeah,
it's
this
so
thing. When
much.
you said you landed with speed, this thing had a trajectory of.
I mean, you had to cut out really hard.
yeah, you did. It was wild.
corner to corner on that thing. We're gonna bring up a clip of like Grubb hitting that. I don't. Where,
You
do
have
you
one of
remember?
those?
Do you remember what video? I don't know where it would be.
Oh man.
I don't even. I mean, no, I'm not. We're not gonna dig for it
One
right
of the
now. But I'm
highlight
just like,
videos,
yeah,
probably. I don't remember which one, but
There's got to be one out there.
maybe counterfeit this. No, maybe it was before that.
Yeah, would it Counterfeit This in more like 2005-ish?
Yeah, so it was probably before that. But yeah, there's some
Counterfeit This. Is that where we did the bungee into the lake out there?
I think so.
Out at Radar Lake, we had the Vertigo bungee crew bring a whole tower out.
Sweet.
And like we were like doing double ups underneath, they were like bungee jumping. We'd see them coming around, and like you would literally, they're cutting out for the double up, and you would just jump at them and be like pogoing in the background.
Trying to get that timing good too, where you're like, how soon can I jump while they're behind? And you're like right behind them would be.
That was a fun day.
That was the best.
Did I send you that picture of all of us hanging out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's on there.
Yeah. Those were fun.
Man, the Vertigo bungee, like those are the best. One of the best things about like being up at Radar in just the Northwest is going up with Robbie Hatcher and the Vertigo bungee crew, because like you would literally like this. Well, this is like it started off like in the like they would poach bridges in the Northwest, so they would have their own equipment. Robbie would go out there, figure out exactly how much PVC to protect from the edge of the steel and like the anchor points, and like he literally was a mastermind kind of behind this. Like we're looking at some images right now.
Yeah. And I've always like I've never got to do it with you guys. And every time I hear somebody come back,
You've never been?
You never jumped with the crew?
No.
Dude, you got to go to Kentucky.
I know, but every time somebody comes back and they talk about this story, that shot's
crazy.
it. But every time somebody comes back and talks about it, I'm like, I don't know if I could handle that. Like walking under bridges and passing cables and like it's intense.
I'll
and
tell
it's
you this.
crazy, but I've never.
You've skydived, Shane, and you
and I
you
got
don't
pretty reckless with it.
Yeah, and
almost died a few
you quit
times.
after like 30 jumps. And
50. I got like
respectfully,
50,
all right,
60 in me.
respectfully so. But like bungee jumping is, I feel like it's so much more scarier than than I don't know. It's just like skydiving. Like you hear the engine, the plane engine, and then like it's just like there's so much wind, and you're just like, and it's loud, and it's just like. But up there, you're like, it's so quiet. You're like, when you climb up onto the top of the bridge, and you're like standing there, and you're like, your heart's just pounding. You can see the pebble that you would hit if the fucking thing broke. Like, and usually it's at night, and they have a spotlight pointing down at this river. It's like the most intense thing. And if you've recreational bungee jumped, this is not that.
No,
this is like
hands
totally
down the exact amount of jealousy that I have that you guys got to do this and I haven't got to do this. There's equal part of me going, I don't even know if I want to do that shit because it's crazy. It is wild. Like
I can't believe you haven't
some
been
of the
before.
stories like that I've heard from like because there's been a bunch of you boys, Brenton and all of these different people that have like gone and like they tell something and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing that, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
the best part is climbing out and underneath the bridges and just hanging out underneath the bridges and just and chilling.
I like you were saying the other day about the one where y'all were hanging out having beers and he called you.
Oh yeah, do you remember that night when Byerly and Robbie called us? Like we're at a bar at a Pro Tour stop.
Portland.
Take it away.
Yeah, so we were at Portland Pro Tour Saturday night.
Post party after the Pro Tour.
Yeah, and we had gone out on Friday and we were like riding on the Willamette, and I had sent I don't think we had photos back then. I had told Rob, I'm like, hey, there's these like construction cranes right on the river that are like pretty high and there's nothing underneath them. And yeah, Rob drove down there, like didn't even tell us.
I remember I was at the bar with Grubb, and then Grubb gets off the phone. He goes, Robbie and Byerly are driving down here right now to go poach this condo, and they're picking us up. He goes, and they told us to quit drinking. So I look at him, I look at my cocktail, I'm like, boom, threw that fucker in the trash, dude. And like, we just like left. We told Ruck what we were doing. And then that was so wild because he picked us up at like 12:31 in the morning. We parked, we scouted. He has all the bungee and everything in the car. And then we walked around scouting it. Then he ended up paying off the security guard.
Yeah, he went there first.
Yeah,
and, like went and talked to the security guard, and he just started like chatting him up or whatever, and tells this whole story like, hey, is this the only job you got? Like, you want to make a couple $100? Like, I'm gonna come back here in an hour with a couple of my friends, and we're gonna jump this thing. And the guy's like, yeah, sure. Gives him $100.
What a way to like propose it. That was so.
And he's like, I'll give you another 100 when we get done. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So yeah, he picks us up. We drive back over there, and that was the first time we'd ever like done a crane.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, we're like the
and, like,
setup
normally-
crew. We're the setup
Yeah,
crew.
we're the setup crew, and we need 4 people to do this jump. And the
Like,
whole
it
deal.
takes-
How
Four-
high? How high's the crane? Like, what are you
Probably
jumping?
220?
No, probably 300. Yeah, because there was some rebar and stuff like down below.
Well, that was
the jump
just-
was like 200. Like we jumped
Right.
like 200. Yeah, we used like 100-foot cord.
But yeah, because you didn't want to. And the
We don't
funny,
wanna-
and now that you, because he said, yeah, because there's rebar, like,
were building the
like 15,
foundation.
20-foot rebar, like just going up from the bottom. And like Robbie's at the top, Grubb and Byerly up above me. And I'm the one judging like how low
On the
the
first
rope
jump.
is from the, he goes, how low is it from the rebar? And I'm like, I'm making the decision of a fucking lifetime right now. I'm like 30, 40,
I don't know.
let's say 50.
Like, and you don't want to lowball it.
Yeah, I
You
don't want to.
wanna
I don't know
lowball
what side's lowball. I'm like panicking, so I'm like, why am I making this decision right now? Like,
We're all
if literally
carrying gear.
anyone
You're like,
living
let me
died-
go up there and I'll grab it. You come back down here and look at and see if
That
that's
wasn't
long.
happening.
No.
He goes-
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying.
we-
I remember I
Yeah,
told him,
plan
he goes, don't fuck up. I go,
70 feet now. I thought it was 30.
but
No,
it was
it's
crazy because you would go up there. Robbie would be with you. He would hook you up. You would jump. And then you would
someone be-
pogo, and then the person would be like right next to here with a rope. So I would be, Grubb just went and pogoed.
Yeah, we're jumping
then
like 20 feet off of
about
the
20, 30 feet
vertical.
off of the tower base. And
Yeah.
so he would be pogoing, and then I would like throw the rope to him and then pull him back to the
I
tower.
was going to say that.
And then
How
they
do
climb
you,
up the outside
and then, and then he would
the tension off.
disconnect.
and then pull the cord back up.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
even
gonna
going
say,
up,
how
like,
do you get
Right.
back
we had to
up?
find the keys to get into like the control.
yeah.
So
He
Rob goes
found-
up first, and he's like,
What a magical night that all came
He's like,
together.
how are we gonna get in there? And he goes, dude, they always leave the keys up here. And he starts feeling around. He goes, here they are. Finds the keys. So we go through the operator
It's
booth,
just
and
real-
then we go
like,
out like on the horizontal
so
part,
wild.
and then we set up first. I can't remember who jumped first. Maybe Byerly.
I think Byerly did.
Yeah, I think Byerly went first. We all got one jump,
Yep.
and then
Wrapped it
yeah,
up
so
and,
everyone
like-
needed like one spot. So yeah, you jump.
So we
first,
just
and then-
rotated through each
and
spot.
then Byerly would like pull the next guy in, and then
That's
so we all got one
it's
jump,
so
and then we watched the
crazy.
sunrise
Yep.
come
from
up
the tower.
From the tower, it was like 5:30 in the morning, and then we went
Climb down right at dusk and
We
then
went
like
straight to
and
the
we're just
contest
like,
site.
Yeah.
And then what? Y'all, yeah. So you're at a contest.
was
I was
and then, like,
exhausted.
go, and then
We
go
stayed up
ride the
all
next
night.
day.
Yeah, we rode Sunday. Yeah,
Oh, that's. So
but we were all
sick.
fired up. That was a sick night.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's a pretty sick one.
That was a good adventure. Yeah, that was cool.
But there's a lot of there. You've done a lot of.
I've been on a
sick base
bunch of fun
jumps.
trips with.
How many
with
base
Rob.
jumps do you think? I mean, not base jumps, bungee jumps. You think you've got?
I think
with
I have
those
over
boys?
1,000 now.
That is crazy.
I mean, when they got the
But you-
bridge in Kentucky, we got a lot
Well,
of jumps.
that's
up there.
like so they bought this bridge in Kentucky, and if you ever want to go, but like bungee jump, I don't know when. Do you know like
Yeah,
is
they
it
do
seasonal kind
Yeah,
of?
the third weekend of every month from May till October.
Yeah, you can go up there to Kentucky and just like hang out with them for multiple days in a row and get a bunch of jumps and really get familiar with it and like
Yeah.
learn the whole process of it too. To sit up there like Grubb's, like it's really cool like to watch you like kind of like Grubb's been with him so many times. I was saying like he's like the one putting on the ankle things and teaching them how to do it. And then there's like 4 other dudes that are like holding cords, and there's like there's probably like a 5-man like turnaround kind of like thing.
yeah, there's
Like,
a-
walk
yeah.
us through it maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
of like,
so like when we jump people, we have a couple guys, like 1 or 2 people like harnessing or whatever, and then out on the deck you have like a jump master and then a spotter. So jump master's like hooking the cords up, getting the double check, and then the spotter's obviously holding the cords and doing the jump. So when we jump customers, like if I'm the jump master, I'm hooking their cords up, kind of telling them how to do it. Look out, don't look down, kind of give them the whole spiel, and then a lot of times they're scared, so you got to like talk them off the ledge, and everyone's a
talk
little
them off the
different, you know?
literally talk them off the ledge.
Yeah, totally. But then they jump and they come up and they're like, they're scared because they've never done anything like this before. And yeah, like you said, it's a lot of ground rush. Like
I almost think the most stressful part is
So-
getting up and like catching the thing and what to do after the jump. Like it, I mean,
Yeah, a lot of people
once
mess
you
that
like
up.
jump and you're up
Yeah.
there, like that's kind of like
yeah, up there, like we hang people upside down, then we have them hook up upside down, and then we upright them. But like when,
They just come
every
up with
time
a
we
bright
jump,
red face.
Yeah, they don't pogo or anything.
so you catch the pogo on the first one. This is we're watching a highlight
Is
reel
this
of
the-
Grubb right now.
Where's this at?
This
This
is
is
the bridge in
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But this is where y'all get the most jumps, and it's just all day.
Yeah,
You
like
can
when
just
we're there,
go.
like we'll do like 10 in a row.
You'll do 10 jumps in a row.
Yeah.
I've done 3 jumps in a row, and I'm like, my arms are like just like cooked.
Jeez.
The most I've done is 32 in a row.
32 jumps in a row.
you're a madman.
Remember that
dude.
bridge we went to? We were at Radar and Rob called us.
The
and
high bridge?
No, out in Western Washington.
Oh yeah.
Remember we went out there on 4th of July and we shot guns and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so we went to that bridge. This was like I was at the boat show in Seattle, like I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something, and they were out there. So I got a rental car. I drove out there, and Sambo and them had to leave, so it was just Rob and me. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and we had the electric winches at that point, so you can jump with just 2 people instead of 3.
That changed the game, huh?
Yeah. So and I think Rob had like hurt his ankle or something, but he's like, yeah, let's go get some jumps, and he's like, I think the record's 31, so he goes, you better get 32. So we just sessioned. It's only like a 180-foot bridge, but yeah, like you just get to the top, you unhook, and then you're just right back.
How long
such a
in
sick
between
day.
each jump? Like, so 32 jumps.
20 seconds. Like you get up, you disconnect from your waist harness, and you're like, you ready? He's already pulled the spot, and yeah.
So you can get like 2 jumps in a minute. Or about,
yeah, the
or
pull-ups
like
take a little
few
longer to
minutes.
drop the rope, but it's a small bridge, so that even the pull-ups were
I'm
like
just
quick.
wondering how long you were bungee jumping straight. Like if it was 32 jumps and you're getting 2 jumps a
Oh,
minute,
it probably took.
that's 15.
It probably
to
took like a little
20.
over an hour or something. Yeah, maybe an hour and 20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes of just.
But it was
pure
like
adrenaline.
sunset and just like we were the only ones out there, middle of nowhere, no one around.
Just you and him.
Just me and Rob.
That's
Damn.
cool.
Just getting like a ton of jumps.
Because the electric winch just pulls you.
Yeah,
You can do
that's a
2-man
game changer,
pull-ups.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quiet. Just like in wake skating and like,
Right, winching
you know, we
and
use
everything.
gas winches forever and they
You're fucking
pretty much sucked.
spotlight on
And then
you.
you get an electric one, you're like, oh, the rope doesn't bounce anymore. You get good speed. Like it was a full game changer in bungee jumping too.
Right, I'm sure in winching is like some of the spots here, like there's not boats allowed. So when you have a gas powered thing right by the water
Yeah,
and you're
it's
doing it, it's
super
like
loud.
what the hell? Like
Yeah.
it seems like you're just
Yeah, I mean, you've been on bridges like where you have to do like hand pull ups and or like out at
the Jew. What is that called? The
the Jumar.
Jumar.
Yeah,
That bridge
that's a
was
long
that
one.
one was sketchy.
Jumar.
It's
It's like how you get like back up to the bridge, like, and you got to rig this like 2 like kind of like
you have
weird
like
things.
one
You
in
got
your
to put
chest
the
harness.
rope.
And you do you basically like climb it's like a rope climbing. So
Bro, it is the most stressful thing ever. You're like dangling down there, and you got to like remember. It's pretty intricate to like set this things up. I'm like, try to remember how to do this. My heart's beating. My feet start to go to
Yeah.
sleep, and like that one alone, like I had to walk out. Like I thought we were just like jumping off the top of the bridge, and like this one, he's like, no, you got to walk out like around. I go, where do I tie my safety thing to? Like when I'm walking, he goes,
you don't
he goes,
need it.
he goes, no, you don't need it. It's about a foot wide, so you can like shimmy out there. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I haven't done
Remember when
anything
we
like this. Like, and we drove like an hour to like get there. I think I just smoked
Remember
like
when
right before, and now I got to walk out there. Like, dude, Sambo's bringing like he's walking the whole thing with like 100 pounds of bungee on his shoulders, doing multiple trips, and I'm sitting out there just like my knees in the middle of this thing, just like fish out of water to the bone.
Remember we walked Hofstad Creek, no safety lines, all the way to the middle. That same trip when we burned up the snowmobile.
Stressful
We
too.
took Watson out there. And
3-point system. 3-point system. 3 points of contact.
3 points of contact.
That's how you climb when you're so Shane. You've never like when you're
we walked
when you're
out.
climbing your life's on the line and you don't have a thing. You have to have 3 points.
I've heard the 3 points.
This ain't no climbing an oak tree in Polk County, Shane. This is
Yeah. No.
That was a crazy day.
that was a wild day.
You had to walk out that bridge is
But once
huge.
you're out there and you're just chilling, it's the most.
Yeah, it's big
Yeah.
wide beams and stuff. That was
Almost
crazy.
feels
I
like
mean, I'm not saying I'm not down, but also, I mean, I'm proud of you guys. It's good.
Go to
It's good
Kentucky
y'all
and
We'll
see if
get
you
it
like
out
I
there,
don't
dude.
know. Yeah. I want an easy one. I don't want the Jumar. I don't want to Jumar.
No, we're not gonna Jew you.
I don't want to. I don't think you can say
No, I didn't say
that. I don't want to walk under a thing either with no. I don't want the 3 points of contact thing.
Yeah, I mean you can run safety lines too. It just takes longer.
I mean, I could handle it. I'm just saying. I know I'm a little reckless. I get a little crazy.
Shane's
with this.
skydiving career quickly
true.
took like Shane. I don't think you have 50 jumps.
A couple
I got
tailwind
fi-
All right,
landings.
know-
all right, let's say you have
No,
50.
I
Let's say you have 50.
I know I have in the book. I got 50.
I have not. I have 130, and I've not landed off-site one time. Grubb, how many skydives you got?
Like 500.
How many times you land off-site?
I think twice.
Shane, 50 jumps. How many off-sites?
Well, I've one clear offsite, but that was like a mile away.
Yeah, that one
Like, it was
counts
a
as
long
two.
time. That almost counts as two. And then I've landed on the runway, I think twice.
You bought beer for this crew.
And
a
I
couple
landed
times.
down. One of the times I landed on the runway was
downwind.
downwind.
Ooh.
I
Like
remember
10
that video.
15 mile an hour wind. There
And
was just
if you
a
don't know
lot
how
of-
this works, like if you land downwind instead of like into the wind on a plane or anything, your ground speed is way faster.
Yeah.
On a plane, you have wheels. On skydiving, you are like literally running out, or sliding out on grass. And Shane was going about 25 miles an hour probably on landing, downwind on the tarmac.
I remember that video too. We were watching it after.
Yeah.
Shane's coming in for the grass and he's like totally lined up for the grass downwind. And then he's just like, oh, I'm not supposed to land here. So he goes over the taxiway and lands on the concrete.
Yeah, like the rationale on that.
Yeah.
I think it's worth hanging it up. I think you made a good decision.
I did make a good decision. I had way too many. There would be so many times that I'd show somebody the video afterwards and they'd be like, what were you doing right here? And I would be like, what? That was bad? And they're like, no, you're not supposed to be over on top of the buildings at this point. And I was like, yeah.
Hey, but he has jumped the Dubai Palm, and that is not easy to do anymore.
No.
We got so lucky.
That's
we
true.
Got
That was the
you got to have
biggest-
1,000 skydives now to jump there.
Oh.
Shane would never.
I
you
jumped
could never.
it. I jumped it with like 20.
Yeah, that's called a good old days of Dubai right
And
there.
it was like, I remember when I jumped it, it was like the guys were from Dubai, DeLand, or
they're
like
from DeLand working in
so they're
Dubai.
working in Dubai. And they're
was like Jeff
you
throwing
guys
them
are
around,
good.
right?
You guys got it. When we jump
Yeah,
out, we have a
Micah, I
blast. We have a blast. And then landing is just like rock wall, like from the ocean, rock wall. And then like almost like just like a little football field to land in. Like it's
was
not
small.
very big.
Yeah, they didn't have the runway there. Or they
And
had the long runway yet. Or
I
anything.
remember I made it to the football field or the little strip, landed, tumbled, didn't even run out, didn't even try.
And you
Soon
turned
as-
the wrong way.
You
coming
should
in.
have been in the
turned it-
ocean, like statistically speaking.
I should have been in the, but
That's what
tumbled
they
on the
said.
land.
They're like, don't
jumped
fuck up
up.
and land in the water.
I jumped up and was screaming. I was like, yeah. And I looked at everybody that was working there and they were like, you weren't supposed to be this happy by just hitting your point. Like
And rolling like that too. Like, like
and I
It
think
was
you
so
turned.
hard.
I think it was all left-hand pattern coming in, and you came in from the right. Or
Yeah,
like,
probably,
I remember that
probably.
one guy yelled at you like,
everybody yelled at me.
But you're
he's
like, I got
dyslexic.
it.
I mean, dyslexic.
It's literally why I quit skydiving because I was like, there's so many things that I don't give a shit about, and they're all the things that I should be worried about. And I was just like, I'm gonna die if I keep doing this.
yeah. When I went back to do wake base, I couldn't jump the palm because I don't have 1,000 skydives. I'm like, what?
You're like, I'll show you
I
the
jumped
video.
this like
Come on, I
8 years
jumped this
ago.
15 years ago.
No, that was a good vid, and to do it over the Palm Islands and all of that, like it's such a cool visual. Like
Such a
that's
good jump.
that's not a
Yeah, we were all on that jump.
all three us three
Yeah,
were.
all three of us.
Yeah. Because it pops up on my Facebook memories every now and then. It's like, do you remember like 14 years ago you did this? And it's like, oh my God.
That's sick.
Man,
Yeah, that's
I remember the skyscrapers being next to you and like falling. You could like.
yeah.
I've never jumped to
canopy.
like next to buildings like that before. Like,
Yeah, it's such a weird setup. That place is wild.
Well, speaking of Dubai and parachutes, let's talk about this little thing.
what is it? What we're going to give away for episode 1?
Yeah. What is it? Sorry.
All right, so yeah, each episode we are going to give away something, and Grubb actually brought a print from
From this, I'll press
From
play
Wake
whenever
Base.
you want.
what we're just going to.
I thought you were going to explain the.
Here, wait,
the-
back it up for a second.
No, we
Just to
can. We
give you
don't
the-
got to watch.
Well, okay, so that's the pilot right there.
This guy.
No, one more.
Yeah,
over.
walk us through a little bit.
Okay,
of-
so that's the pilot. So he's flying like line of sight with the drone, and then that's Sebastian there. He's like the producer that made it all happen. He built the drone and everything.
and that's behind camera, like on stilts.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So
and
just
your
think
board
about-
is leashed
so
up.
I'm doing my thing, but he's having to fly the drone the right speed at the right altitude, fly the right line, the whole deal. So it was like pretty
he's
stressful for him too.
He's flying your
The tow
drone that's
drone.
pulling you.
Yeah,
Not the drone that's filming.
yeah,
the
not the
drone
one
that's
filming.
pulling you.
Yeah, the one that's pulling me. Yeah.
What was the most critical part that you're thinking of, like on this setup?
Just don't slip out on the kicker,
Don't spray me too hard.
and then be like patient in the air. And I was a little nervous, like because the pool's so narrow, and like where you're sitting, it was so shallow, and I was like, man, I hope my tail like doesn't hit like right there, because I was trying to swing over that as much as I could.
Hold on, let's go back because there's PB there. Sorry.
Yeah, so we
Lost
took
my
the
note.
chairs out. There's like these little ledges, but it's only like 8 inches deep. So I didn't think
I
I
like
would
this
hit.
angle though because you
but-
can see how close you are to.
Yeah,
these
so I'm like
chairs.
right on the edge, just trying to. I mean, the pool's only 4 meters wide.
And this is 100% no fall zone. Keep in mind, like
yeah,
you're getting towed by a drone, and your
And the
your-
dr-
and
the
your board
board's
is
tethered.
connected,
yeah.
tethered to your rope.
So basically, at this point, there's like no turning back.
And there's
But see, like the ledge right here.
Hey.
So I'm trying to swing over as wide as I can.
Yeah. I
Because-
mean, you're so close to that ledge too, and then,
And I barely get
how
a cut
wide's
at
the
it.
pool there? That's
It's like
probably
4
like,
meters,
yeah,
12 feet or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's super narrow. So I'm trying to go as late as I can so I can get as much speed because it's a big ramp. So I'm trying to like.
And that's why
But
if he
you
was
see,
go-
like,
that's
I couldn't
why
get a big cut at it, so
Right.
that's why I couldn't go any bigger off the ramp.
well, that's what was super sketchy because the drone pilot could have easily been going 4 miles an hour faster on that.
Right,
Like
which
he
would
would
have made
like
the
it was
tu-
like
which would have made the
his
turn
adjustment
harder.
on the throttle was like it was like too much was really easy. So
Yeah.
if you were going too fast in to make that corner,
I would have get pulled.
you
through
would have
the,
got
through
and
the
probably
turn.
came off to like the corner a little
And
bit.
too slow. I would have just like plopped over the ramp, and then I would have been really close to the building.
yeah.
Probably wish you had the original angle before we. Like,
I mean, dude, he gave me
turned it.
perfect speed. It was like it was money.
Yeah, I mean, it's so wild, like that heel edge right there into it, and then just
Well, I think this seems like a good thing right now. This is episode 1 for all the Patreon members out there. There's Bonifay backers, and then the top level is the top shelf members. So, and the top shelf members we're gonna put all their names on a wheel, and we're gonna give away something every week
Oh, sick.
from one of the guests or like one of the. We got wakeboards, we got some Liquid Force boots, wakeboards, some Roanoke stuff.
We're gonna have
all kind of like prizes to give away. But the first one that we're going to give away is the print from you doing wake base right now. So we're going to spin the wheel like after this episode and see who wins this thing. But let's bust this thing out right now. I'll just share the cameras. We'll have you sign this thing up.
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, that is a sick photo too.
Yeah.
Just that
Episode 1
skyline,
giveaway.
That
Yeah, that is a-
skyline with just the peel in the water over the edge like that is such a. How long was this in the making? Like what was the pre-planning on something like this? Because this is bigger than almost any project ever in wakeboarding, I think.
Yeah, I mean the idea to when we did it was about 7 years. Damn. I mean, it started as a total pipe dream, just like at Redbull meetings. Oh, what's the craziest thing you want to do? And I'm like, oh, we should do a wake base, you know? Be sick. I'm skydiving a bunch, like got all this bungee experience. I'm like, oh, I could do that.
But you bounced off. I remember we've talked about this for years. And like, and we didn't know the location, like kind of like really
well,
like the idea.
We wanted to do it
existed.
off a waterfall first. So we looked all over the world for a waterfall. Like most of the high waterfalls don't have a big pool up top. You know, they're just like little streams that come out and whatever. So we never found a location. But we started building the drone like in 2017, 2018.
Damn, there's so many layers to this thing.
Yeah. So Sebastian, who I've done like pretty much all my international Rebel projects with, we did like rice terraces together first. And
Okay.
This is like a little test of that drone too. Look how big those little.
This was like,
What
okay,
are those white things under?
This is in like 2017, like before we even tried to build a drone. We found these guys. Dude, that drone is so big.
That's wild.
Wow.
That one.
So that was the very first.
That was the
drone
first
pull.
drone pull ever. Yeah.
Oh.
Behind that one. But we kind of realized from that, like, that there isn't a drone out there. That one's too big. And so we kind of have to build our own. So that's when Sebastian.
So that's when he
when
went
he's like,
to the
we're
back
gonna-
to the drawing
we're gonna-
books and
we're gonna
fabricated
build
our
our
own.
Yeah.
Sick.
So we partnered with this company in Germany called Infineon, and they built like the drone that we've been riding behind. And we shot that video in Slovenia of like riding in that river. I think this one, yeah.
So this is the video in Slovenia.
Yeah.
Project number 1 with the.
Well, it was really just a test, like, but we shot it all, like, but this was like, yeah, with Infineon and Sebastian and stuff. But
And
we
you're just-
shot for 4 days, and then, but yeah, we're like flying it under bridges and doing.
You
it all
flew the
this.
drone under a bridge.
Yeah,
and the turnarounds look like exactly like a 2.0 turnaround. That was
like,
crazy.
So we were trying out like what
Right.
can we do with this thing? Like now we finally like, you know, aren't on a winch and we don't have to go in a straight line all the time. Like even that first shot, I was on a winch and then I grabbed the handle and then went
Right.
around the corner.
Is that so that you didn't put too much stress on the drone, or
no,
is that
it's
just
to
for the
show like
for the
going
transfer,
from a straight
the
line
transfer
to like
shot?
be able to like make
Right.
make a corner, you know? So we were just trying to do like, yeah, flying under. So David, the pilot that
What?
flew wake base,
That
he
was-
flew all this. He flew all this stuff too.
Yeah, that's it.
And then on the 4th day, like we crashed it, but we had a bunch of footage from that, so we put out a video like in 2018.
Damn.
And were
then-
y'all designing that drone just
Just
for
to
that?
tow.
Like he was seeing how much weight he could pull.
I mean, we
and
built the
tow
drone
you?
like with doing a wake base in mind because that's
Yeah.
the only way to do a wake base.
Yeah.
Like you have to get pulled by a helicopter or a drone. helicopter's like too big, and we're like, man, that's like half the project.
Too much wind, like kind of.
Yeah, just like too much going on, you know.
yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, half the project like will be cool, like just riding behind a drone. No one's done that before either. So that was like a big thing that we wanted to do, and we wanted it to be the wake base to be like the first like video that people saw it. We actually went down to Brazil to ride down there in the drone. We were
In the sand dunes, right?
in the sand dunes, yeah. And we were gonna take 2 drones down there, and we'd shoot this whole project with Zuzana and me. And
This
and the
screensaver,
drones,
you'll
and the
see it
drones
on.
never got through
Damn.
customs, so we just winched it, and we still put a video out. But like, if that would have happened, like people would have seen the drone before the wake base too. So like,
Maybe it's a
like,
blessing in
kind
disguise
of
a
a
little
blessing in
bit.
disguise
Yeah,
a little
damn.
bit,
You
yeah.
were. I remember you coming
Yeah.
back from that. You were like, man, it was.
It was sick, but
Well, I
it would've
mean,
been
no,
rad
I
with
just
the
remember
drones.
like you needed a drone for that spot.
Yeah.
Like you, I
It
mean,
would've
y'all
been.
definitely did your thing out there, but it's like
Yeah.
for how far you had to like get there. Like I remember you telling me the trekking like through
and
the
being
sand
able to
and
do
stuff.
turns
and,
out there and ride anywhere out there, it would have been crazy.
Ah, man, I mean, let's not put a ceiling on anything, you know?
Yeah, that place is wild too.
Damn, I've always wanted to do a project out there, like just
It's so
saying
big.
they had to look so amazing.
It's so sick. It's huge. Like when you're on the ground there, it's like, man, you see it from the air, it's like all this water everywhere. But when you're on the ground, it's just all sand
Yeah.
and like hard to get around. And
One thing with the wake base I thought was like crazy. It was like you remember the battle between the 2 drone pilots? So there's one drone pilot that's like a little bit more favored, but there's underdog who like wants to,
Oh, yeah.
and they're doing test flights and they're going, one's doing like 2 or 3 runs and then one's doing 2 or 3 runs and like neither one of them were like, nailed it perfect or like were really, really horrible. Like they each had some bad runs and it was super sensitive and really hard to fly. Like,
yeah, we went back.
like you
and
could be
forth
going
the day
12
of.
mile an hour really easy or 35 mile an hour really easy.
If there's anything I know about drone pilots is they get territorial and they think that their stuff's the best. Like,
Well, Dave is the one that flew. He like helped build the drone originally, and he's
Right.
got the most hours flying the thing. Like he shot the whole first one, but we had to have a second pilot in case something, he got sick or something. And so yeah, we brought Bruce on, and he's like more of an FPV pilot, never flown the big drones. Even like you were at that test in Germany when he flew for the first time. Remember
Right.
we had the kicker set up at the spillway where they do Munich Mash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's when I
so that was the first time he flew it, and yeah, big learning curve for him. But yeah, by the time we got to wake base, like they were both killing it. And I remember 2 days before we rode at the skydive center, and Bruce had better speed and stuff, and David was like going too fast. So we're like, okay,
Right.
like
Maybe
leaning
we're
towards
fading
Bruce.
back to, yeah.
And then we go up the day before and we rode in the pool, and there's like way more pressure, and like we're up there like running the line with no kicker, and then David was just spot on. So I'm like, oh, I guess we.
I remember
we gotta
watching
go
that was the
David. But
first.
I had to make the choice, and I'm
yeah.
like,
Shit, I
this
don't
is
want to
so
like.
hard.
Dude, and
I know they can both do
They
it.
both want it so bad too.
Yeah,
like this is
it
like.
would have been cool.
I remember watching I've never like heard one of those drones or like seen it happen. So I'm like sitting over there, and then watching you do the tester it's right where they do Munich Mash, that same step down where they did all that.
Yeah.
And dude, the first one, dude, the bass this thing makes is like, I was like, whoa. And then Grubb like hops off and starts going. And the very first one, they have this kicker, and Grubb's going 15, 20, 40, 45 miles an hour, and just like gets to the kicker, like shoots his board up, it hits the kicker, and he just like completely
Explodes.
bails out. And I was like, and this is gonna happen on top of a building. Like that's when I was like, all right, this is why we're practicing. This is
yeah.
you really did a hell of a job like prepping for this from like not just like learning. I mean,
7 years is crazy.
I mean, to come up with you didn't even have a location. You learned to almost like skydive, to learn to base jump, to like learn to.
well, you had
and
to
you
learn
didn't-
this right here too. A little bit of this little base jump. Is this all in
yeah.
preparation?
Yeah.
Where's this?
This is in Lauterbrunn in Switzerland.
But this is all like sort of knowing.
I mean, this is.
You learned to base jump for that, or were
No,
you
well,
probably would have been base
I
jumping.
started base
anyways.
jumping like kind of with this project in mind for sure. So I went to like Sean Chuma's class out at Prime Bridge out in Idaho in 2020, and I went through like first jump course with him, and then Brenton came out for a couple days, and we jumped, for a couple more days, and then I went back there like I think 2 other times after that. So I had 38 base jumps or something, all off the bridge in Idaho, and then I had like 1 off the bridge in Kentucky, just like a static line off that. So I had 38 jumps when we started training for wake base. So it's not a lot, and I'd never done an earth jump. So I asked Miles to kind of mentor me on this project, and he was totally down. So I did a week out in Idaho with him. Like learned the barrel roll off the bridge and was just doing some like different exits and stuff. And we jumped in some like pretty windy conditions. And so learned a lot. But I'm with Miles, you know, like he's like, yeah, you got this, bro. Like he's all
What a great
fired
person
up.
to like
Yeah,
learn
like,
the
he's
learn
like,
the
oh,
process.
dude, you're killing it. You're doing great. All this stuff, you know. So and
His
then
stoichometer is just unreal.
yeah, and he's like, okay, well, we need to go to Switzerland because you know it's a 950-foot building, and we can go to Lauterbrunnen, and there's every jump over there is at least 1,300 feet. So he's like, we can simulate a 900-foot jump off all these exits, and we'll work our way up to, you know, all these fun exits over there that you're gonna learn from. So
You just kind of scaled up from like 400 to like what the building would be, and even higher.
yeah, so we get over there, you like come into this valley, dude. It's just like rocks on both sides. Like the most beautiful place in the world. Never been there.
Just
never been
like-
to Switzerland. And we walk in, and Miles has been going there for 20 years, knows everybody, like knows all the exit points because you just got to hike through the woods and find them, you know? And he's like, I haven't been here in a while, but I think I can find it. So we go to the first one. It's called Yellow Ocean. I think it's like 1,300 feet. Super overhung, like pretty basic for like a base jump over there. One of the easier ones, you know. Most people go there to get their first one. So yeah, I got my first like earth jump off of that. So we did that a couple times, and then we went over to this one called the Moose, which is like another 300 feet higher on the same side of the mountain. And you could do like a poised exit there, or you can do that. It's that one that you can run. You like run around the corner, and then you jump off that like diving board looking thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
Is
that's
that
like,
where you did the slow front flip on that one?
Yeah.
You kind of got hung
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you want to stall those things out, like, because you don't.
How high is that? 3,000.
No, that one's like 1,700, I think.
Nice.
But it's huge, you know.
Yeah. Feels.
But you know, you do like a 7 or 8 second delay off that, and
Right.
you're still 500
cruising.
feet off the ground, like
Mhm.
you know, and you have time to like get away from the wall. Because I definitely had a bunch, or like I don't know, we were just like how you pack your parachute and stuff. I was having some like off-heading openings. I was having like some 180s and stuff, which is like super scary. Then you open up and you're facing the wall, and you got to like make a quick decision to like, you know, turn yourself around and all this stuff. So like, yeah, we started packing a little differently and kind of like worked all that stuff out. And then, yeah, I think like day 3 of like the first trip, he takes me to like high ultimate, which is like the biggest jump in the valley. And it's like 2,300 foot. And it's that one that you like run off that deck, and then you got the first 400 feet, you're like right on the wall.
Right on the wall.
And then it like bowls out.
Damn.
So you're saying you start lower and then work your way up?
Yeah, just
Like,
because
you
like
get
Yellow
higher?
Ocean and the Moose are like super overhung. So like, but high ultimate, like you have to jump out 10 feet to like.
So
get,
you have to execute your
you have
track.
to
You can't fuck up.
You have to
your-
do a running
right.
exit, and then like
But
you
why
get
wouldn't you
push,
start on like the highest ones? And
because
then-
because you got the rock right there. If it was overhung, then like you could. Like a lot of people go to
It's-
like
Okay,
even
okay.
low, like 1,700 feet is like really high for a base jump. So
Yeah.
like even though it's the lowest out of the ones, it's still
you want them overhung.
more of
So
the
if you have an off,
you want more of the overhang in case
Yeah.
you have like off heading or like some
or
type of like,
your chute bounces you, turns you around or whatever. You need
Yeah.
some. Okay, I was just wondering.
So
why.
we worked our way up, but there's like, you know, 10 or 12 exits in the valley that you can jump over there. So you just take like, you know, cable car or the train like up the side of the mountain, and you hike for 20 or 30 minutes, and yeah, you get to jump off these thick cliffs over there.
So
So
we
we went 3 times. Like,
Damn.
yeah, we went 3 weeks over there, like in
Damn.
2023, getting ready to do that. And I learned a lot. Like that jump that you just showed, that was off one called Dumpster. That one's like a downhill runner. And yeah, my friend Carlos, who like, yeah, kind of helped me learn how to like angle fly into land and
Right.
stuff, like badass skydiver. He was there. So I got some jumps with them, and he's like, okay, we're going to do front
So-
flips off this. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
So when you're
That's it.
doing this, or maybe even like a year before, the building that you're jumped isn't even complete yet. Kind of like that.
No, it was built.
It was built.
Yeah.
How long was it open before? A couple of years before, like y'all got to.
Well, so kind of how we found the building.
Because the building didn't exist when the idea was like concepted.
No. And the way that we found that building was, okay, so now we have the drone built. I started base jumping in 2020. Now it's like 2021. We get a new team manager at Redbull, Philippe, and he's like, okay, what's your dream project? And I'm like, doing this wake base. And so he's like, all right, man, let's do it, you know? And
Big shout out, Philippe.
yeah, bro.
I like Philippe.
And so, yeah, we start kind of working towards it. He starts bringing the idea up, pitching it again, and business planning and all this stuff. And then he brings me up to this meeting up in New York with like all the sports marketing guys from Europe and from the U.S. It was like this big meeting. There was like 2 athletes there, and it was basically like an ideation meeting, like for these guys. And he's like, "Why don't you come up and pitch your idea?" And then that way, like, you know, people will be like, "Oh yeah, like we came up with this idea at this meeting and all this stuff," even though we've already been talking about it for years, you know. And I think Nietzsche, who's like the Air Force team manager at the time, he was like, "Man, have you guys seen that building in Dubai? It's like the highest pool in the world."
Infinity Edge.
Yeah, and we're like, "No." So we like pull it up on the computer and we're like, "Oh my
Right on the
God."
beach too.
Yeah, we're like, and it turns like left. To,
Right.
You know, like sets up perfect for it and like way safer than a waterfall because there's like no
wind,
like
no
water,
yeah.
all that stuff. So we're like, "Oh my God."
Damn.
That's like the last piece of the puzzle. So we pitched it at that meeting to everybody. Like, we're doing it off this building. We already got the drone. We got, you know, everything. And then yeah, from there, like got greenlit and we started training.
Is there a sicker hotel to like actually fucking jump off of? This hotel was so badass. Like the breakfasts,
cool.
like it was just like 5-star like caliber hotel, and we got to stay there too, which was like
Yeah, it was sick.
pretty insane. And then we had a 10-day window, I think, for this shoot, and like we ended up like getting there, scouting it the first day, build the kicker the second day, set it up. Grubb did some dry runs. He did a test at this drop zone, testing the drones, and then like the third day, was it the third day that we did it?
Yeah,
I think
the
morning of the third day that
we had like
got
a
there.
3-day window,
setup.
First day was like at Skydive Dubai, like in the swoop pool.
Yep.
Second day was up top,
down,
flying
practice.
the drone, make sure the drone was going to fly,
Right.
no
With
interference.
container on, no shoot,
Yeah, container on, no shoot.
and getting pickup shots
Yeah.
for like
Yeah. For the next day.
Mhm.
And then third day we were supposed to do it. And if we hadn't have shot it that day, they would have had to like break the kicker down 4 hours or something to take it apart and then reassemble it. Because you couldn't leave the pool. You couldn't like leave the kicker in the pool because people go up there and spend, you know, $400 just to go hang out at that pool.
Yeah, and some drunk dude could walk up to the edge of this jump and then literally jumped off the building.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you couldn't.
And remember dude, we did it like in the last 5 minutes of the window too. Remember
right.
had
We
the
were
crazy
waiting,
crosswinds?
and then Miles goes, "It looks good to me." Miles
Yeah.
jumped, and he goes, "Feels good all the way down."
It was nuts.
And
I liked everything about it, but like my question is, why did you have this dude just hanging out in the pool in the back
question.
corner?
Good question, sir.
It's like
Because I wanted
no, I know.
I wanted Parks to be there.
Yeah.
Hype me up.
It is funny because every time you see it, you can just see Parks go by like, and
Yeah.
you're like, PB's just hanging
I
out.
mean,
in
I
the
think
pool.
a stunt this critical, he would have completely done it on his own. But I think
what did you contribute to
I
this?
think having like an extra set of eyes, like to like look at the kicker, look at the line, make sure he's on the same page. And I came up with the tether. I came up
Exactly.
with
Yeah, Parks helped out a bunch on this project. We could not figure out what we were going to do with that board. And then Parks was like, "Yeah, tie it to the drone." So we came
It's
up.
pretty
Shane?
good. It's pretty good.
so we tied it to the drone and then it
I
dangled.
asked Philippe,
and
I
then,
was like, "Dude, can we bring Parks on this too?"
See, I would have if you would have brought me. My idea would have been like, can we have like one of those like a small little parachute just like push off of the board and it just like drops down like one of those like
Yeah, we thought about that.
G.I. Joe men.
toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been all I could have contributed, and it would have been like terrible idea, Shane. And I'm like, all right.
Well, you walk around down there and it's like immaculate. There's like glass ceilings. You're like, okay, yeah, no wake skates falling down right here.
Everyone's eating breakfast like at the restaurant down below.
What were you? Obviously, you're most worried about the chute pulling and not dying. But like, was the drone? Was the route like the pull like getting all the way up to the kicker? What was the sort
Biggest
of
concern
sketchier?
of
What
the
were you
variables.
like?
The biggest concern
The
was getting
biggest-
tangled in the board tether.
Yeah.
Like as you're spinning off of,
Like if I
pushing
got
it,
like
yeah.
had too much speed and somehow went out that's why I'm kind of like in the back seat a little bit up the ramp.
right.
Like I knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of speed like getting up the ramp, and then I was gonna try to like grab stale fish, so I'm already kind of like in the back seat a little bit. But I wanted to be behind the board and behind the tether because if I
You kick that board underneath you and behind you, then you're in the cord.
if I get that tether
Yeah.
between my legs or something and get wrapped up in that thing, now I'm hanging from the drone.
Pulling a
And-
chute with a drone.
And the way that the building turns and the drone's only flying, 20 feet above the top of the ramp, and then I put all this weight on it, the drone disappears and they can't see it. There's no way. So I had like comms on with them, and I'm like, we had a release on the rope, but I'm like, don't release the rope until I tell you if something happens.
Okay. Let's just visualize this for a second. It all goes. See, it went right. It went perfect, and
Yeah.
that's the way it was supposed to look. And Grubb,
Yeah.
you fucking nailed it, like through and through. But let's like back this up. You go up, you get a rye, you get tangled up in the rope. You start to put a bunch of weight on the drone that wasn't there. It gets pulled straight down. Now you're on the comms with the dude telling them how to get you down to the beach as you're dangling under.
No, I would have had to cut away.
So but could the drone have dropped you back down to the beach
I don't think
theoretically?
so. No.
Maybe it could have brought
The
you
drone,
down.
I don't think with all that. I mean, the drone can
Not
lift
softly,
me,
it
but
could,
it could've
but
brought
it's
you
too
down.
wobbly
but it's
when
900 feet
right.
and they can't see anything.
Right.
either.
Yeah,
But I didn't want him to just, if for some reason I got tangled up, I didn't want him to just cut the rope without me knowing it was going to happen.
True. I just had a visual of
And
them
I had-
delivering you to
yeah.
the beach by your ankles.
That would have been cool. Let's try this again.
because the drone's honestly strong
Take two.
enough. Like if it's already pulling you, it probably would have
No, it
enough
can-
power to hold you.
Yeah. And I had a hook knife. Like in my chest strap. So I could have like, I mean, who knows? This is all.
Tim, you were
this is
suited
all
and booted.
theoretical.
Or
but
what about even if it like you got tangled and it just comes back up over the edge of the pool and like puts you back
me
in the
back.
pool?
Line it up.
But if I would have had to cut the rope away, I would have been tangled up in the board, and then I would have had 60 feet of rope behind me trying to throw a pilot chute out that easily could have got tangled up in all that rope.
That's
and,
no bueno.
Yeah, and that would have been fatal. So
That's
that was
pretty
like
sad.
that was the biggest concern
Well,
for
dude,
sure.
Well, that's what our
So-
Patreon members get. They get this picture of you,
Yeah.
signed photo of you. I think that's going to look really sick when we frame it up and send it
Carving
out
it
to
up.
you.
Yep.
I'm really happy about that. I'm glad that that's our first giveaway for the old Patreon members. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a
Hey,
crazy one.
one of the craziest things, this is the craziest thing about the whole trip that I think, like, Grubb base jump, waked off, kicker to the beach, the craziest thing ever. What's crazier than that is that we flew out there. Our flight got canceled. Check this shit out. Our flight got canceled, so we got rebooked on a direct Orlando to Dubai. This is a 15-hour flight.
Ooh.
Longest flight that I've ever been on at one point. So we're in the back of the plane, and I feel like Grubb was back there. No, we got rebooked, so you're not upgraded on Emirates.
No, we're on
You're back
Emirates.
in, you're
Yeah.
back in the
We got
back
good
with the
seats
posse.
back there.
But there were 3 rows all the way down, and then like when you get back to the back of the plane, there's just 2 seats. Grubb had the aisle, I had the window. Ladies and gentlemen, you're a freak, dude. Grubb for 15 hours did not get out of his seat to pee, to stretch his legs, or anything, which to me is more batshit crazy than like any Red Bull wake base thing. Like, what you're like, dude, you're literally like a vampire bat when you sleep or
I
something,
mean, I
dude.
slept
It
for
is.
like 10 hours. Yeah. So
He had one glass. I think he maybe had 2 glasses of wine.
glasses of
2
wine.
glasses of wine. I went to the bathroom like multiple times.
No, yeah.
And I go, dude, you didn't go to the bathroom one fucking time. He goes, or even wake up for that matter. Like he woke up at breakfast and was like, he's there. He goes, I'm wearing compression socks. I'm like,
I love
Half
that.
the- half
I feel
the
like
plane-
that's what got me through the flight. Is the
half the
compression
plane's
socks.
probably wearing compression socks and they didn't sleep for 15 hours.
That's a hack right there.
That's really
Dude.
funny.
Those help on the long flights.
Man, that was
Oh.
impressive. That was more impressive than Oh man, you should win trick of the year for that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty.
We had a
impressive.
fun trip on the way home too. Remember we had that layover in Amsterdam?
Oh yeah, that was
Like
that
5
was the
a.m.
best. Yeah, we had like a 6-hour layover in Amsterdam where we like land at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, we walked
Get a
around
ride
the
into
city.
the city. Nothing's even open. We just had to like
It's like 30 degrees.
we're like doing
We've been in the
doing
desert.
jumping jacks just to like stay warm out there. We weren't like suited for this. We're going to Dubai. No one has like long jackets or anything.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
like sweatshirts on.
Amsterdam layovers are always pretty fun.
Yeah, it was
I've
fun.
had a few of them, and
Good times.
my even shortest one was like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I remember I was like, "We are leaving this airport and going to a smoke shop right now," and like literally ran, grabbed a dude, ran back, jumped in a cab, and we're like, it was such a waste because it was so exhausting and such a little. It wasn't even enjoyable, but made the most of a little 2-hour trip.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. That was crazy.
You travel more than anyone I think I know. And I know a lot of like travelers.
Yeah. I like
What
on
is
the
it?
road.
You just
I don't know. I'm just always looking for something else to do, the next adventure, and done a lot of the stuff in Florida. So yeah, you got to travel.
how many miles you got that stashed up in that count? You're like a mile hoarder on Delta, I bet.
Yeah, I think I have like 1.4 million right now.
Damn, to spend.
But-
Bonus miles to spend. You can buy me a first class ticket to wherever.
Anywhere you want.
Oh,
Damn.
I thought I had a lot because I have like 600,000 miles stashed.
Really? You've been a hoarder too.
I've been hoarding a lot
Because you
but
haven't bought. You
I don't use
you
it for
haven't
anything.
flew Paige anywhere?
No, we did go.
Oh,
to
y'all
Italy.
did go to Italy.
We did, and that was all on that. But I've only ever used miles almost one other time, and that's when I was stuck in Mexico and missed my flight and was like, I am not staying
I'll
here
pay
for the
anything
night.
to get
Yeah, I'll pay. But that's what I was using miles for my whole life. I was like, it's emergency only. But what? 1.6?
1.4, I think.
1.4.
But those are bonus miles.
Like,
He has like, how many have
Sky
you
miles.
traveled like long?
yeah.
like,
What's your
I'm at-
what's your
cumulative?
million miler count?
I'm at 1.9 right now.
Damn, dude.
So you've only
So-
ever used like 300,000 miles.
That's what I'm saying. Grubb, you have not bought enough tickets for your girlfriends in the past, dude. Jordan, hit him up. He got a
Yeah,
mile
yeah.
stashed over there.
Yeah, I got her miles.
We got them miles,
So-
baby.
But
yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever had more than like 200,000. But I just now got a credit card.
How much money do you think if like the 1.6 million miles is worth?
Every
And
10,000 miles is $1,000.
so you basically had
It's
like
$100, I think. 10,000 to 100.
So
No,
you
you're
think
right,
you got
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
$160,000 in miles
I don't know. I don't know the math on it. But
or 16,000?
I mean, we got a lot
It's
if I
whatever.
need 'em.
It's a lot.
I should start using
I think he
them.
has $160,000 in miles.
I mean, I
Maybe,
think
yeah.
Delta
Yeah, that's
just
probably
owes
right.
Maybe
yeah.
16,000.
Jesus.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot.
Don't ask me. I'm so bad at math.
Yeah, me too.
Math's
But-
always been one of my strong. I'm just joking.
Yeah, 2023 when we did wake base, I did 258 days on the road. That was like pretty heavy year, but normally it's like around 200.
258 days on that is bonkers,
Grubb,
dude.
what do you out
Do you
of
hate
all
your
of this
house?
crazy
Like,
stuff?
Yeah, I love my house. It's great, but
Like even when me and Parks were like sitting and talking about it when you were coming on, and we are like, what are all some of the things that we should talk to him about? There's a list. It's too long. It's so much stuff. But what do you think besides what we just talked about, the wake base? But like, what were some of the ones that stick out to you? Like,
Could be Redbull projects.
I
like
mean, I even-
riding in caves or like.
I even
any-
remember
Yeah,
we
man,
did
we've done
depth
so
charge,
many-
and depth charge
Depth
is one
charge
of
was sick.
depth charge is one of the things on my list that
Yeah.
it's like top 5 of just weirdest things that we did. But
Yeah.
you've done.
I've done a couple cave ones. Yeah,
My favorite one, the photos and the video, the visuals of it were the rice patty.
Yeah.
The rice patty
rice
things.
terraces. What are
Yeah,
they called?
rice
That
terrace,
was
yeah.
so cool.
yeah. That was like my first big international Redbull project, and I just
What a good first one to start off with. Damn.
yeah. And that one just kind of fell in my lap because of Sebastian. He was like, he had pitched it as a wakeboard project in Austria, and it got kicked around a little bit. And then he was like, man, we should do it wake skating. I'd met him at the Philippines cable park like the year before. We hung out for the week out there, and he'd worked for Redbull for a long time, but he had just started his own like kind of production thing and stuff. So he called me. He's like, hey, you want to do this rice terrace thing? And we'd been in the Philippines and seen like all these
It's the
these
most
rice terrace-
immaculate thing
and that's
ever.
like when the Gov had the helicopter, so we
Right.
were flying around over like everything in camps.
Are you
there.
just frothing?
And I'm like, man, this is crazy. And they were looking at a site in the Philippines and one in Japan. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And I remember I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I went to Dubai for like a cable contest and then went straight to the Philippines from there. Basically land in Manila and then get on this bus and drive like, I don't know, 12 hours, basically all through the night north, just straight north of
Straight
Manila,
north.
like in the middle of nowhere. You get up in the mountains, like 1-lane road through the mountains. And man, yeah, it was insane. Like had to build a rail like out of a tree, and
Yeah, that was.
How was the like run up like on that? It looked like if you fall off to the side, it looks like you just fall off into infinity. And like you just trickle down.
yeah, I mean the way the pool's
Like,
set up,
the
it was like,
shortest setup
it was
ever. It
pretty
looked
short.
really
it was pretty short
gnarly.
at the top, but we kind of like kind of manicured the tops of the like edges and
Right.
stuff to make them a little bit like beefier, so we could put a little more water in them.
Because they're pretty shallow, huh? And you needed to ollie onto that down bar.
Yeah. So, but the top pool was like a big triangle kind of, but it kind of went to a point, and then there was like a small pool like the midpoint, and then the big long landing pool, and then the rail was like I don't know 20 feet long. It was like a big down rail.
Were these local Filipinos like mad? Were they were kind of like? I mean, I know we're getting paid out on this because
No, like, we
it's a big
hired all the
Red Bull
guys that
project,
own that
But
and
it's
stuff.
like, are they like you're messing up my rice patties, bud?
They did talk some shit after we did it. Like the news went there and they were kind of talking shit. But while we were there, and
Do you tell them you
everyone
love
was
rice?
cool. Yeah, I mean, we went through the whole thing. I mean, bro, we had to like meet with like the Mubaki priest, sacred land
priest.
Bro, it's like this super old dude. Like he's in the video. Like it's crazy. Bro, they did a full like chicken sacrifice. He killed 4 chickens in front of me, and was like,
that was when you became a pescatarian.
I was vegetarian at the time, and they want you to like drink the blood, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
Come on, Grubb. When in Rome?
But bro, he killed 4 chickens, pulled the hearts out, and he's just like watching the heartbeat in his hand. And
That
he's
is
like, and he's like,
insane.
grab another one, like kills another one.
That's insane.
It was crazy, bro. It was so nuts.
That
But,
is
but they
wild.
gave us permission to do it, and then
Because you ate the chicken hearts.
no, because the chicken hearts told him that it was okay if we wake skated there.
Oh man, I would love to know what he thought that the chicken hearts said to him about you wake skating in a rice paddy in the middle of nowhere.
He's like,
But dude, and then they gave us like spears and like these totems, and like one of the totems had like a monkey's like skull on the top. I mean, bro, it was nuts.
yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
this
It was
dude
pretty
sounds like it sounds like some Indiana Jones just like holding
It
like a
does.
It
just
really was. It was crazy.
Man, I love that idea of just Grubb looking over at Indiana going, what do we
like,
do? And he's like, you gotta eat the chicken heart.
Do I gotta drink the blood?
This is pumping.
But yeah, that project went huge. Got like 1 million.
that one was cool.
I mean, this is like in the beginning of like, this was in 2012,
I didn't ask about it.
I think, or 2013.
Damn, it was kind of viral before viral
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
thing.
like the first, like one of the first or the first like Redbull video to get 1 million views in 24 hours.
I didn't ask
So,
about
that was a big one.
the Dubai one, but the base jump, how many views did that get?
I
From
mean, it
what
got
you
shared.
know, it
yeah,
got
I mean,
shared
on,
a lot, but
yeah,
like
on the Red Bull
roughly.
page, I think it had 100 million or something like that.
Damn.
But it got picked up by like 600 like news stations around the world.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Shit kind of broke
the
the
most-
internet when that thing
yeah, it
came
went
out.
huge.
That one was
Yeah,
good.
it was like the most viewed Red Bull video of all time for a while.
I remember they gave me
Maybe
these
still.
these Meta glasses right when they first came
yeah, I
out. Yeah, now
remember.
Meta they're starting to
Yeah.
come out, but I had like some like sample ones or like something. So and I like they're like, oh yeah, all you say is Meta, start recording, and I like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem. They're like, okay, so this is like your angle, and you hold your phone. And I'm like, Meta, record video. And then like the whole thing happens. And like I go, they check the footage, like, yeah, your shot didn't work. What did you say? Yeah, Meta record video. They're like, yeah, it's not that. So I botched the whole Meta deal by saying the wrong thing.
That's really good. I wouldn't have doubted it. But okay, so there's the rice thing, but like what were ones that we couldn't even think of that were sort of throw
Cranberry
out another
Fields
one.
forever.
Cranberries was a sick one.
Cranberry visually was just amazing too.
And those are from the winch sessions, right? And that was
Yeah.
with like Ben Rand.
Yeah, I
and
brought-
like, who's the
I
crew
brought
on that?
Ben up. We kind of changed it up. We had Andrew and come on some of them, and Ben came on some of them.
Here you go.
But yeah,
We're
we
looking
tried
at
to
some,
we tried to bring in a bunch of the other wake skaters on all these trips.
The cranberry one. Was
Those were fun
just
too.
cool.
Like
And-
the winch sessions was sick because you just pick like 2 cities and drive in between, and you just find spots along the way. And
you had
some really good
and you got
Texas
cover
ones.
of the mag.
Why do
at
they?
this
Why
one.
do they put the cranberries in the lake? What's the?
that's how they
That's
harvest
where they
them.
grow them.
They grow them on vines, and then when they harvest them, since they float,
Whoa!
they just,
How's that shot?
That one's cool.
we pop-
Just board sliding through
piled
with
the
like
cranberries up.
and the angle of that board too, just like slings them up.
Yeah, cranberries have air in the middle of them, so it's like you could flood the lake and then
yeah,
they
just
would
push
like,
them to one side, and then they just pull them out with like a hopper.
I thought I remember hearing something when you did that you weren't allowed to ollie at first or something like it would. They were worried about cracking this.
Some of the guys from Minnesota did this before on wakeboards, and that's what they were saying.
Okay,
But the farm that we went to, they were like, yeah,
board slide
whatever
this
you
shit.
want. So
Do
it
you
was
think
super
you've
fun.
ever eaten or drank a little cranberry juice that you were sliding on top of?
I don't know. I drank some that winter, so maybe.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that be full circle?
The irony.
Yeah.
The
I'm saying.
irony, like having a glass of having a vodka cranberry and being like, these cranberries right here.
I rode those.
I read these.
In a world where cranberries float on water and Grubb board slides through all of them, juice them up. Come and get it. Grubb 2022 winch sessions. The Cranberry Double B. I'll work on the title a little bit, but I did.
Might need to re-edit that video.
Let's try it.
Hold
Let's
on,
try a trailer for
hold
that.
on. Let's see it. Let's see if you can do it with this. Go again, B.
Wait, you want to
Just
do
a
it with
little
it?
bit. We'll just go 10
I don't know if
seconds.
it's gonna-
Just see how it looks.
Okay,
with
let's
this,
try. Let's try it
all
from the top. Here. In a world where cranberries float on water and wastegates 270 shoved up water. I don't know the first two. I kind of like
That's
it.
good. That's good.
Brian Grubb, Ben Horan, Win Sessions, Redbull presents Cranberry Fields Forever.
That's good.
That's a better title.
Yeah, that was better. Title.
Let me hit it. Let me hit it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thirsty for some cranberry juice right now. I'm ready to get rid of this.
Yeah, I might need to spice it up.
We might need to take a break because I just might need a little break so I can use the men's room. I'm good.
There's no bathroom breaks here,
No
boys.
breaks, bro. 15 hours.
You didn't wear your bladder?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you, Shane. I didn't tell you to break. All right, take a little break. Bam. All right, guys, it is time for the Bonifay Banter Top Shelf giveaway. This is a spin to win contest. We're going to give away prizes every episode to Top Shelf members. We actually have 11 Top Shelf members on the wheel today. I'm going to bring up the wheel right now, and so you can see all the names up there. Me and Shane. Shane's currently in Thailand right now. So I'm in the studio, a little bit more quiet in here right now, but Shane and I just want to say thanks to all the Patreon members getting behind it before we even release an episode. Truly means a lot. So thank y'all. And let's see who's going to win episode 1. What do we have in the books right now? Brian Grubb, signed print from Wake Base right here. He signed it when he was in the studio on episode 1. And as well, a Liquid Force wakeboard shipped straight from Liquid Force. Free shipping as long as you're domestic in the United States. And let's go, man. Like I said, 11 names. Brett Christopherson. Right before I did this, he came in, subscribed to Patreon member Top Shelf, so I snuck him on the wheel. 11 names. Let's spin this thing and see who wins. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we spinning. And the winner is, for the Liquid Force wakeboard, Martin Fowler, local boy here in Claremont. Man, Martin taking it down. Congratulations, Martin. You win the signed print. I'm going to send this to you, or maybe even drive it over to your house. And as well, you get the Liquid Force wakeboard. Congrats, man. Next episode, we're going to be giving away a Ronix wakeboard, as well as a $100 Duvin gift card, and maybe even a t-shirt. Can't tell you the brand. That would give away the secret of who the guest is. But congratulations, Martin. And thanks again for all the Top Shelf members. Spinning to win, man. Let's go back to the episode. You. All right, guys, we're going to play a little game here. We're going to take a little break and switch it up a little bit. This is a game that I invented. Well, I guess I didn't come up with the real concept. I changed the context of it. This is Heads Up Pro Wakeboarder / Industry Edition. So what I did is I took a bunch of pro wakeboarders, men, women, and as well people from the industry. So
I feel like I'm really good at Heads Up.
I'm horrible at this game.
Really?
All right.
So
So
here's the way it's going to work. We're going to go through this whole deck. Whoever has the most out of you two will win a secret prize. You both don't know what it is, and you might have seen the last one. But pretty much, I put a little dot right here. So you just pretty much put it straight up to your head, and then Shane's going to guess. I'm going to set a timer for. Let's do. What do y'all feel good with? 30 seconds, and we'll go back and forth a couple times and see where that leads us.
I think 30 seconds is pretty good, but we might need to split the deck in half there, so because we get two. There's one side and then the other.
Yeah,
right?
but after you're done, you'll just pass the deck over to him, and then however many you have in front of you.
Okay.
So we're gonna do. Shane, you can go first. You can kind of face each other a little bit. So
I'm
Shane,
gonna
you're
try
pretty,
to make sure the camera
Shane,
can see it.
So
too.
Shane, you're going to put this up. It's going to be someone's name and Grubb. You're going to explain to Shane
who this is,
and if you get it,
then I get the card.
if you get it, then you get the gene, and if you got it wrong,
Crickets.
no, not crickets.
Figure out your fucking board over there, buddy.
No, you get the buzzer.
There it is.
buzzer.
Buzzer.
All right, so
Buzzer.
You get
Buzzer
the
and
gene
chimes.
and the buzzer.
All right.
So.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so here
You
we
got
go.
a timer set.
All right, we're gonna get a
We
timer set.
might not need a timer if it's.
No, it might go too long. So
All right.
we get it queued up here. Let's do.
So if he gets it, I give him the card. If he doesn't, it goes there. Vice versa.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know these cards either. I saw one.
I hope I know everybody.
I saw one when he was showing me. I saw one when he was showing me earlier, and I was like, I don't even know how to explain him. So we'll see how this goes. We might not get any.
All right. Well, I got the stopwatch going right here.
All right, here
All
we
right,
go.
we're going to do 30 seconds and see how we go. Okay, ready?
Set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, Shane.
It's a brother.
Philip Sovin.
no.
Bob Sovin.
Doesn't wakeboard as
Reed
much as his
Hansen.
brother, but
Reed Hansen.
used to hang on Lake Georgia a lot with us.
Brother.
So you know who lived on Lake Georgia?
Yeah, but I can't think of.
You can pass it.
Yeah,
His
that's-
brother.
Nothing. All right, that was 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right.
That was 30 seconds.
Yeah. No, we're good. All right, let's go.
Oh, but I can't look at it, right?
No, yeah, you go straight up. Yeah.
Okay, ready?
All right, so now we're gonna go Grubs. Shane didn't get any.
Well, I did guess a lot of good brothers.
Yeah, you did guess. Yeah, and maybe Grub could have gave some better clues, but maybe you couldn't. Maybe
You could have gone like legendary wakeboarder's brother, like the icon of wakeboard.
Yeah, it's
like,
easy
maybe
when you
it's
already
like-
know who the name is.
Yeah, but
you
the-
try. Ready?
All right, it
let's
was
go.
Ryan Byerly. It was
Yeah,
Ryan
it was
Byerly
Ryan
for
Byerly.
anyone who was guessing out there. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go, Grub.
Great photographer, shoots for the Nike 6.0 crew, and just
Letchworth?
Yeah, see, that's how you do it.
Go to the next one, quick. Grub.
Who, me or Grubb?
Grub.
Oh,
Grub.
go get.
Yeah, you're trying to see how
sorry,
many-
sorry. In 30 seconds.
Wakeboard camp, original owner.
PJ Marks?
Yeah,
Damn. 2.
keep going.
One more. 6 seconds.
The brother, one of the brothers that I said, he wakes,
Sullivan.
he wake skates a lot.
Bob Sovin.
Nope, the other,
All right, time up. All right, so we're.
Oh,
what is it?
man.
What was the last one?
Reed Hansen.
Oh, I
Reed
wanted to get that
Hansen.
one.
It's one of the brothers that I said. I
You
said
did
Reed
say it the
Hansen
first
like
time.
3 times. Okay.
All right, so Grub's up 2-0 right now. Shane, I feel like this is a big comeback for you
I think
right now.
I should be getting these points because
think
I
Shane's
guess it
up 2-0.
correctly. Yeah, I'm up 2-0. Those are mine. But
Okay.
we'll figure that out in a minute. But those are mine.
Well, you get
yeah.
Hey, this
So the
game's
dot-
who really knows
We're
what we're
gonna
doing right now?
Yeah. The dot goes up, right, PB? That's the top.
Yep.
All right, here we go. You
Okay,
ready?
you ready? 3. Wait, hang on. I got a timer. We're gonna go 1 minute on this one, ladies and gentlemen. We're
I
gonna
think
go a
we
little bit further.
I think we go 3 rounds.
We're gonna minute on this one, boys.
Minute?
Yep.
All right, here we
Keep
go.
it going. 3,
Ready?
2, 1, go.
Best spoiler behind the boat right now.
Gunther.
No, rides for Armstrong. Big
Oh
Thigh.
yeah. Oh, what's his name?
Lives in
I know
South
his
Florida.
name. Noah Flegels.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll take that one. Oh, he's German cable rider.
Felix.
Nope. Liquid
Nico?
Force. Yep.
Boom.
Oh, we already talked about he's a brother. Lives in California now.
Bob Sovin.
There it is.
Damn, they're on the fly. 30 seconds.
Oh man, he's from Hawaii. OG wakeboarder.
Oh, Ryan Sebring.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh wait, that's the jingle.
Oh, the biggest legend in the whole sport.
Byerly.
Nope. Started everything. The
Darren
water
Shapiro.
ski stuff. No, think about like started the biggest brands, everything.
Oh, Herb O'Brien.
There it is.
Damn, Shane's on a roll. 5 seconds.
Photographer, worked at Wakeboard Magazine forever.
Medop.
Dan, nope.
Doster.
Doster. Damn, that was close.
Knew it was
That was
Doster.
close.
When you said Wakeboard Magazine, I was like, that's Dosty.
What a heater you went on right there.
I'm good at this. I told you I'm fire at this game.
So the dot goes up.
Okay, so what's the count right now? Shane's at 2, or
Yeah, 2.
Shane's
Yeah,
at 2,
5 that
and
round.
Grub's at 5. But now
I think
Shane,
we're on a
Shane,
roll.
yeah,
So
this is,
that was 30 seconds.
this is the bottom of the second.
Yeah, it's just tough because I feel like I should be winning all of the points because I'm not only giving great clues, but I'm also guessing really
well.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Because of my
maybe,
clues.
Maybe
What
we'll
do you mean?
maybe we'll get some
Just don't
layers to
know.
this game.
We'll see if he can figure this out.
Well, there's a lot on the line for this. The guys don't know what's on the line right now, but I have a surprise right here in this old school double or nothing box. I'm gonna
it's
bust
probably
out,
some Red Bull old thing that he's just given us.
which would be sick too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm not mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
All right, here we go.
Another
The
minute.
next round,
Another minute.
so
This is a minute.
Grub,
another
scoot
minute.
those close to you, and let's get ready to
I'm
go. 3,
ready to
2,
go.
1, let's go.
Classic Conley wakeboarder, Parks' idol.
Zane.
Yep.
True. Good clue.
Did the cranberry thing with you?
Ben Huron.
Yeah.
Best kick flip in the game.
Yep.
They had a YouTube show. They ran into like they winched all over the spot. Like they were really cool. There's like 3 of them.
30 seconds.
Shred Town.
Yeah. He's in Shred Town. Awesome dude. It wasn't Andrew, and it wasn't disc golfs. He's here in Orlando still.
Oh my god, I know this one.
You can pass if you want. 45
pass.
seconds.
Okay.
Davis Griffin.
Davis, fuck, sorry, bro.
Younger brother of the next big cable crew.
5 seconds.
Cable guys next the writer of the
Valdosta
year.
guy?
Writer of the
Trent?
year.
Gavin.
No. That does not count. We ran out of
Buzzer
time.
beater.
Gavin doesn't
because
count.
Grubb's not up on his
Gavin-
fucking
Gavin
writer
doesn't
of
count.
the years. This is original writer of the year, and he doesn't even know who the newest
Yeah.
writer of the year.
The newest writer of the year and the OG writer of the year, the first writer of the year, Brian Grubb.
Right.
Bit of a disconnect.
That's
All right.
So,
All right. So where are we?
I think we're good.
Where are we
there.
at right now? Yeah, we're pretty good on that.
Yeah,
let's-
I think I got.
We
got
could do
5
one more-
over here. I got 5 over here.
Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
I think we got to do a tiebreaker. We have to do a tiebreaker.
So what do we? What,
We're gonna do 45 seconds,
45 seconds.
and we're gonna do.
You gonna play?
No. I'm running. I'm running ops. I'm referee.
Yeah, he keeps messing up the buzzer beaters over there.
Only once. All right, it's 5-5 right now. Who's gonna win the secret prize?
All right.
Back to Shane. You ready to go, Shane?
I'm ready.
45
I'm ready.
seconds.
So ready.
All right, Grubb. Pressure's on you. 3, 2, 1.
Aussie rider goes huge
Greg
off the
Falzone.
kick. No. Goes huge off
Josh
the kickers.
Sanders.
No.
Ike. Daniel
Mary
Watkins.
Amber.
Dean Smith.
Yeah. OG ski legend. I went to a ski school. We were talking about that earlier.
Dave Benzel.
No. Had a signature Mastercraft boat. 4-time world champ.
Come on, Shane.
No.
Come on, Shane.
Austin's dad. Wow.
No.
Sammy Duvall.
Oh, that's bad. That's real bad.
All right, 10
All right, here we
seconds. You better go.
Cable. No, wait. Yeah.
Yep.
Female cable rider. Hangs out with Megan
Julia
and Gunther.
Rick.
8 times.
No, I know this. Rivers.
Rivers. Yeah.
God.
No. Does not count to the
Man,
to
you
the
think it's Sammy
scrapyard.
Duvall?
I
Sammy
know.
Duvall, Shane?
I was thinking like the point. Like I was like.
So how many did you get there, Grubb? 2 or Shane?
I think
I gave Grubb those cards, so he got 2.
just get one. Dean.
I think so.
Yeah, I think just one.
All right. Well, this is the
All right, tiebreaker. Another
bottom of the
45
third
seconds.
right
Let's
here.
go.
Another 45
Let me
seconds.
get jazzed.
get ready, Shane. All right, ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
She won an SB. Also wakeboarding
Dallas.
naked. Classic Australian. The best voice, the best excuses on why you never.
Ike.
Yeah.
Shout out Ike.
New Aussie kid. Just classic. Almost like
Brenton?
No. No, new. Friends with Luca La Familia.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Brown.
Oh, I gotta be quicker.
10
Lived
seconds.
with me for a while. Austrian kid, really cool. Great wincher, great cable rider.
Not Dom. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dom.
Dom.
Yeah.
Boom. I think
Okay.
that might have been the fucking.
And then now he builds docks. Crazy Australian. How'd you just?
and that's
Brenton.
time.
Yeah,
That's
Brenton.
damn. Oh, maybe a buzzer beater right there. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Grubb taking down the first ever Heads Up Wakeboard Industry Edition. And then you may be wondering what you're going to get here.
Oh, yeah, what did we win?
The Bonifay Banter, the first ever contest, local contest giveaway. And ladies and gentlemen, Brian Grubb, you get a scratch-off ticket that I've already scratched and won for $5.
That's
so
pretty sick.
guaranteed winner. Some people say it's worse than a scratch off,
Wow.
but I say it's better because it's a guaranteed winner for you.
Well,
I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna get another one.
You hit on the way home.
there's no hopium there, you know, like the,
No
but,
opium.
but you get $5. It's not nothing.
I'll take it.
You know, everybody loves a good scratchy, but most of the scratchy is like, if I win this, what do I get? Like, one of my favorite things to do is to buy a lottery ticket in the 5 minutes that you drive home. You're like, oh man, if I get that, I'm gonna golf I'm gonna just go and buy a golf course. Me and my boys are gonna live at a golf course. We're just going, and like the dream.
I think
is
that's
better.
the worst. That's
It's
the
better.
worst part about it.
No, it's the best part. It's where hope
dreams-
lives.
it's where dreams
That's where
live.
hope
The
lives.
hopium.
Yeah, it's everything.
scratch-offs.
It's like you don't know. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
That'll
Hey, nothing.
happen.
This is Bonifay Banter Studios,
Episode 1.
episode 1. Nothing
good like
screwed
that.
to the wall. We
No, you're
literally
good.
threw it up right before this started. So
Yeah.
deal with it. That's kind of sick.
That'll work.
That's unbreakable. This is this is called a skit scat. This is an old school Cypress garden ski. People, I don't know how people tried to ski on this thing, but Dad won this in a kite flying tournament.
Yeah, that was a Delta
Second
wing
place.
Right there.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
His dad just knocked it down. Say hi.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, Peter B. What do you think of all the gear we got here? Like, look, we got some VX 1000s, VX 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
Grubb
those
said
of
he
it?
hasn't seen that in 20 years. You haven't seen
I got
that
one of these
in
at
20 years.
home. That's from Wake Stock,
Yeah.
Yep.
2001 or something. Yeah, this camera.
That's the original.
I think I dropped that in the water.
I think
one
you
time.
did roll into the water on that one.
And the OG.
Grubb was filming on picnic tables and decided
It
to
fell
get
in
real,
the water.
got real risky with the shot and decided to lay on the inside of a rail. And I remember Danny
The rope
slid
went over
off
me.
yeah.
Yeah, that was.
It was on the pool picnic tables this way. He was on this side.
Wait, you got
Danny
snagged
had-
by the rope and it pushed you in the water?
No, he got scared that Danny was going to hit him, so he rolled into the water with my brand new camera.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's why he had
Something
got the
like that.
second camera.
Yeah. We had to get the VX2.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but there's some gems up there.
Let's talk about this gym right here. I found this upstairs that I had. This was a X Games party that Redbull threw at the Playboy Mansion right here. And they wouldn't let us inside. There's just a pool party.
Yeah.
But this shot is pretty freaking sick. This is Pamela Anderson, Grubb, Shane's ex-girlfriend Jordy, and Ike sneaking.
Yeah.
Ike sneaking in the little side door of this thing. And dude, this photo really cracks me up.
Yeah.
It's a
That was a crazy day.
yeah.
Sweet hair.
That hairdo is the best.
You know, shout out Hayes Willis lining up a Playboy Mansion party for Red Bull. Back in the
honestly
good
got-
old days, dude.
I honestly got
We've
so
been in the
hammed.
grotto.
We have been in the grotto.
I got so hammed at that party, I threw up in the bus on the way home.
Damn.
Remember Ronnie Feist was fighting with
Ross Coleman.
Ross Coleman.
Not, but
in
no,
the parking lot.
not fighting, like
No, ninja
almost
fighting.
ninja fighting, but like,
Yeah.
but it was like ninja fighting, like gone wrong. It was like they were like everyone's like shit house wasted, and there's a shuttle that brought us to the mansion and then dropped us off in this parking lot. And Ronnie Feist and Ross Coleman, you don't know, you know Ronnie Feist, he's like old school metal militia dude, tatted up from Cali. And just super into like martial arts, and then Ross Coleman's just a good old boy from like
He's a bull
Oregon
rider.
to Texas, bull rider, the bull rider. So dude, it had this like 1940s like dude kind of like style fighting, and then Ronnie Feist doing like all this kind of thing, and they're just throwing like haymakers at each other, but not trying to really hit each other.
No.
But like way too close. I was like, this is getting out of hand. Like this is going. And I think they started slapping a little hard, almost like the Barnett Park fight. Like you were just
No, my Barnett Park fight was gruesome, man. There was blood.
Don't
There were sucker punches.
Yeah,
it got
yeah.
fucking out of control. Grubb had to stop it.
It's true. Save Shane's life.
Damn.
Yeah. I would have taken that 14-year-old.
What year was that? You think 2005?
Probably. Yeah. 2005, 2006.
Yeah, it was a good party. I mean, from what I remember, I
Yeah,
had a lot
from
of- I had
from
a
what
lot-
you've been
I had a
told.
lot of Red Bull and vodkas and didn't make anything of it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What was I mean? Since we're looking at the wall, the old school pointless gamers. What were some of your earlier pointless memories, or what did you think was sort of happening whenever it was going on and you became in with the crew? Like what from your point of view? Because I know what mine was, and I've even explained how everybody was sort of
Yeah.
joined the crew. But what was yours like whenever you?
Well, I mean, yeah,
came
like,
in.
you know, I met you guys water skiing and stuff, but we didn't really hang out a whole lot. But I was hanging out with Danny quite a bit then, and I was a few years older than him, but working at Performance, so like, yeah, everyone was coming through there. So
Well, we were down in Polk County, and y'all were up in Orlando, so y'all probably hung a little.
yeah, but
more.
I was like riding at Danny's a lot then and stuff, so that's kind of like where I started riding with you guys a lot.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just Danny couldn't drive yet, so I was driving everybody around.
Yeah.
And what did you drive?
Well, I had a Honda Prelude at the time, but Danny bought like
Yo,
a Denali at like 15.
Oh yeah, you know Danny's looking.
So everyone was piling into that, and then yeah, going down to Polk County and yeah, shoot.
Let's bring up a picture of Grubb's Prelude. It's
Prelude.
right, dude. I mean, the Prelude's pretty sick,
That
but
car
your
was
pose
fun.
is pretty
I mean,
sick.
that's just a beautiful
my hoopty,
photo.
man.
Like, look at. I wish. Oh yeah, we can zoom in on that. Look at that. Look
Yeah.
at that.
18s.
Damn.
18s, but you kept them clean.
They were clean.
Hey, Grubb, you remember you were at Watson's and I backed into your car with my Durango, but I didn't have my trailer hitch in. It had like just a little square, and I actually left a little indentation on your
probably
bumper.
see it right there.
You probably could if you zoomed it. But I was like, I go, man, it was like a symmetric, like perfect little square,
Right in the center.
right in the center underneath that Honda logo. I was like,
I like-
for how bad that went, it went really well. You might
I
be able
like
to see
this.
it.
I like this though too. They're like, check out the engine on this
Yeah,
thing.
it's got
Like,
an intake. And,
Performance sticker. Hell yeah, dude.
oh yeah, shout out Performance again.
Damn.
yeah.
I remember
Look
we
at
went
those
to
head units
remember when we
back
went
then.
to Singapore and Grubb made me go to this like car shop over there, and he bought like all these like dude, he brought all this shit to put on
He
his car.
loved the Prelude so much, dude. And I remember the big Volcom
fun
sticker on the back. Yeah, the Volcom sticker. Oh, dude. That was Grubb loved
15-inch
Preludes
sub in
and
the back.
Volcom at that time.
I did.
You had the biggest fascination with Volcom I think I've ever, as anybody could ever have.
Rightfully so. They're-
Yeah, they were cool back
They were
then.
very cool, but you had all of your shirts, your whole wardrobe was only Volcom.
Well, let's get a
I
look
was
at your
on
sticker
Billabong
board,
with them.
Shane, and see what you were into. Jinko jeans.
Oh, dude, there's some good. Yeah, the Jinkos are on there. Rising high, spins, black flies. Yeah,
Some-
there's
some
some good
classic
ones.
goes.
You guys can zoom in on that on
Look at those shoes though, Shane. That's when we were on DC.
What are
That's
those?
when we- that's
What
when we were
are
on DC.
those?
See, DC, that
Yeah.
was big.
That was big. Shane got me on DC.
Big, like big, bulky.
No,
and
DC
bulky.
wasn't going to sponsor wakeboarders, but they were like, we will sponsor you too. Like,
Yeah.
and it was just me and Grubb, and it was like,
Damn, that's kind of
just,
sick.
and that's when
That was
DC
sick.
had big tongues. Like, you can
Yeah.
see the tongue on that thing. That's a good.
And you just like stenciled. I remember you had the yellow boards
Oh,
with the
it was
blue
huge
with the huge
logos
DC on
my
there.
boards. Yeah.
yeah,
What?
dude.
Let's talk about like what kind of like philosophy you put into stickering up or spray painting your board. What kind of techniques?
Well,
do
I
you
mean,
use?
back then it was all photo incentives, so I was like, bigger the sticker, the better chance to get it in the photo. So yeah, I would just spray paint.
Would
all
you
the
like
bottoms.
would you stencil it or you
I'd put like a
a
die cut sticker on it, and then peel the sticker up, paint over it, and then peel the sticker off.
You know what I was into back in the day? is,
Stickers
like-
wouldn't stick to like the wood boards. so.
Right, yeah. I was into like putting my stickers and then having my graphics went over the top of the stickers. So I would cut my stickers out and make it look like they
they
like
were
went
behind
underneath
it.
the graphic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That was
liked back
fun.
in the day.
I used to paint all my boards back then.
Back in the day, there was like an art to putting some stickers on the board where you'd like even do the drop shadow. You know, you'd have like
Yeah.
a black one and a white one.
stickers.
And then
Oh,
you go,
I forgot about
just
that.
like
Yeah.
a little offset, but it would look like it had like a little drop shadow.
Some
There's-
people say that's a waste of stickers.
we were getting them for
Some
free.
people say that's art.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had enough stickers back then.
DC was a good one. I remember that. That was a pretty.
That was really
sweet
good.
one.
That lasted
I don't think
2 or 3 years or
I don't
something.
think they ever gave us money, but they gave us shoes, and that was
No, we
cool
had photo
enough.
incentive.
Photo
like
incentives, yeah.
$3,000 or something.
Yeah,
And we
and
would
they
max
gave
it
us-
out like in
And
4
they gave
months.
us huge stickers on our boards that we were like, that's not going to show up in the photos. Like
Yeah.
every photo, like yeah,
And it was like the sticker we were most proud of back then too.
Yeah.
So we're like front and center on everything.
it was sick. Give me a little bit of love.
Yeah.
The DC boys.
Yeah, Shane hooked that one up. That was sick.
Yeah, and little Capex. We did a little Capex.
Yeah.
I know. There's the sponsors back in the day were just so fun because there were like people that were just like into it for no reason. They're like, oh yeah, we'll hook it up.
were some
We'll
random
just do
ones.
it." Yeah,
Chipper beef jerky. You remember that one?
Yeah.
was there.
That was good. Those
I
guys
went
were
to.
cool.
Did you ever go to the factory there?
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, it takes a lot to disgust me out food wise, and I watched that. I was like, damn, man, this is.
Like, it
I
smells,
still eat it.
Smells
I
weird,
still. It still didn't work. It still didn't work, but it was a.
Yeah, tower companies and
Yeah, there's just a lot
bunch of random
more.
ones.
I mean, you'd have a fin sponsor back in the day. I was Reverend
Yeah.
G-Bolts.
G-Bolts, Rainbow.
Silver Moon.
Rainbow.
Silver
Silver
Moon.
Moon.
Silver Moon just gave us chains, heavy chains.
Yeah, like when you have a sponsor that's just for putting the bolts in your board, like that's a layer that was pretty nice back in the
That
day.
was a big deal back then.
Yeah. Wow.
Time flies. Let's talk about it's crazy to think that you were the first rider of the year, you know? And then really there hasn't been a lot of wake skaters like
Yeah.
since then. Like I think that was a pretty cool, like,
Well, even crazier than that, they gave me the cover of the first Alliance mag.
right.
And
With
then
Shane missing the shot in the
Shane
background.
missed the shot. I fell on the rail.
Nailed the shot.
And they're like, no, it's fine. We'll just put the sequence in there.
Nailed the
But
shot.
20
Yeah.
years later, I fucking
You're
I landed
clowning.
that
Yeah,
shit.
you're clowning me about missing the shot. He didn't even make the trip.
Yeah, but if he did, you would have missed the shot.
Yeah.
No, but that was a great idea to revisit that 20 years later, and then you're still able to like
Yeah, that was
hit
crazy.
that step up. And
That
we
was
tried to
fun.
do it at Danny Harf's. That was the original shot was at Danny Harf's parents' house
Yeah.
on Lake Willis,
Yeah.
and they were selling their house at the time, so we weren't able to do it at the same location. So we set up one at Clear Lake,
Which
like
was
with
still,
the Alliance crew.
it
Yeah,
was spot on.
Yeah, it
was
still looked pretty
same-
close. Yeah.
it looked spot on. It looked spot on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Shane had the exact
And-
same perfect
Yeah, that
spot
was-
to like miss
and
the
that
shot
was
again.
It was a really fun day too of a lot of the
Building.
Pointless boys.
Yeah.
all of
Building
the
it that
Pointless
day,
boys
yeah.
got back together.
I got that
You know,
photo.
yeah.
I'll put that up right now. There's a shot of
Yeah.
us, all of us in the water with drills and stuff. And
Yeah.
that was a good nostalgic feeling day
It
right
was,
there.
it
That
was.
like it's crazy how you can have one day and all of a sudden time warp back to an era that doesn't exist anymore in a sense.
Just
It's
smashing
like,
beers, holding drills, making its janky
because when you're
ass
in
rail.
it, I mean, I'm sure a lot of crews or friends or like happens to like, I mean, a lot of people like you never know when the last day of a cruise kind of like hanging together. When the end of an era happens, no one knows
No, you
exactly
don't
when
know.
that lasts, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's just like
over.
it never happened. So it did feel good to get back out there on Clear Lake, which is a nostalgic lake in itself,
Yeah.
and doing that. And dude, that you were a fucking animal that day going about that because like there was so much pressure on you to land this because you didn't land the first one, and that's kind of like why we're like revisiting that. Not only is this cool,
Yeah.
like you're still doing your shit at 20 years later, but it was like we're revisiting this shot because it was a cover and like every cover is supposed to be made. So we wanted like they lined this up for you to do it, dude, and like
Yeah.
walk us through like some of those tries and like because how many tries did you
I don't
attempt?
know, 60 something.
It was crazy. You
over
tried for like
4
3. You were like
over
3 or
4
like
hours.
4 hours, and this is like a 9-foot like step up to like. It's
Yeah.
just it's super high.
8-foot
Like
gap.
nothing like about this is like easy, and you just kept on going, and then like, dude. Honestly, I like towards the end, like
Sun was setting.
the
dude.
sun
I
was setting,
like-
and you've been trying for 4 hours. Your hands are bleeding, dude.
I
Like
ripped
you
my hands
literally had
open.
ripped your hands open. You threw tape on there, like you were like just in full animal mode. And dude, and honestly, you were getting the sun was getting low, and I looked at Cole. I was in the boat with him, and I go, dude, there's probably like. I go, how much light do you have left? I think he goes like, I have like 2 or 3, maybe 2 shots, maybe 3. And then I think you made like just a buzzer beater
Yeah.
of a stomp, man, which was so crazy. Like,
So crazy.
for out the 20 years, like leading up to that point, and then the full day, like all that happened and building the rail, shooting it. And then for you to almost not
I
make
was
it
like,
again,
I have to land
you
it
have
today.
to fucking
Like
make it.
everyone was out there, everyone was so hyped up, and I'm like, I can't come back tomorrow and like try this again. Like I got to do it now. But I was trying to land all of them.
No, you weren't. It wasn't for lack of effort.
Well, I think it shows how hard it was to do that, and that's like 20 years later. Much less when you did it, like when we made that rail and we were hitting it on wakeboards, it was sketchy. Like
Yeah.
we were hitting it on wakeboards, and I remember being like, it was the biggest rail we've ever made. It was just this massive drop. It was not easy. Nobody's ever built a 20 or 18-foot incline
Yeah.
just to a flat bar. So when we were hitting it on wakeboard, we were like, oh, this is sick. And then
Yeah.
when you hit it on wake skate, it was like, damn it. Like if he's getting
Yeah.
this and you were getting to the top, hitting the top, like, but even it shows 20 years later and it was still that difficult.
Yeah, it
to
didn't get any
do.
easier in 20
It
years.
didn't get any easier for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was at a time when like you know, that was like the biggest thing ever hit, like on
Yeah.
a wake skate. And like, obviously, wake skates taking a whole technical kind of direction, rightfully so. But like, that's what was so magical about that moment is like, no one could really even like get off and get back down to the water to sing on a wakeboard. And you just come in and like get right up to the top on your first one. And like, and it was like, and that was the variables of hitting the one at Clear Lake when you revisited it. Like if you're getting pulled off to the inside, the only way to like make it is if you get up to the top and you take more line. But if you take more, there's a gap in this and the rail is so high. So you can't, like typically you can favor a rail to the outside and you can like hit the rail again. If you favored this rail to the outside, if you fell off to the right on the gap,
rope can
or
hook it.
your rope hooks it and it tore it down, which is what happened to the
first
original
time.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're trying to like hit this, make it, and then not tear it down at the same time by like overcommitting to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a crazy day.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, I remember when we got started, I was like, okay. It was kind of windy. Remember the wind was like blowing at the bottom of it. And it was just like, and man, the turnaround, it just took forever to set up, right? So you hit it, you like line it up, you hit it, boom, you fall. Boat has to come around. You swim back out, you get your board, swim back out. You go up, do this big turn around the lake, and then you
Right,
line up
just
another one.
a
So
lot
it's
of
just
setup
like a
and
mind
stuff.
fuck of just like, okay, here we go again. Like, you know,
I'm
get a little more right, you know, and then
I can honestly
and I just
say
land with slack so many times, and then
I can honestly say if I was trying to do something like that, if after 2 hours I wasn't making it, I would have been like, I'm not doing it, guys. But you stayed on it for like 4 hours. And
yeah,
it
I
was
wasn't
so
gonna give
impressive.
up on that one.
Yeah, that was really, really.
Press Meg, good idea, well executed, and
Yeah, it was cool.
good to revisit it.
And
Yeah,
yeah, just
super
the whole with that whole thing of us all building the rail, being there that day, you doing it, you know, having such a hard time doing it, and then making it right at
Yeah.
sunset, and just being like, boom.
God, that was the best
It was-
feeling ever when I landed it, and there's like 4 boats out there, everybody's on them. I just whipped over, bro. It was so sick.
That was fun.
That
what
was
it's
a
about, man.
career highlight for sure.
That's cool.
That was so cool. Yeah, that was a fun one.
That's good.
Man, well that's I mean, it seems like you're pretty much undefeatable in like anything that you kind of like put your mind to. Like it seems like the only thing that can kind of take you out is reality, which is kind of like that was my segue to the car crash because
Yeah.
I mean I don't know if a lot of the listeners know, but Grubb was. I mean, you're already going to Fiji. You're already doing your thing again. Less than 2 months ago, you were in one of the most craziest crashes, and I'll let you kind of get into it. But like I mean, we were all severely like worried, like about
Yeah,
it.
it
It was
was
heavy.
It was, yeah. I mean, yeah, I was down in Puerto Rico. Was down there to go hang out with the lift guys and do some foiling. There was a good swell coming in that weekend. So, yeah, first night we were there, we're driving to dinner and get hit head on by like a bigger car. We were like in a little Kia like rental car, and we got hit by a Ford Bronco.
Oh man,
They
how
didn't-
fast were y'all going?
I mean, we were only going about 30 miles an hour, but I mean, 30 at 30 is,
No, yeah,
is a
that's-
pretty big impact. And she didn't have her headlights on, so we never even saw the car. So
what?
my buddy and I are just like driving down the road, chatting, and then just
Wham!
explosion, dude. Like, just
Oh my
the
God,
biggest
dude.
impact ever. And I didn't lose consciousness or anything. But I felt like I got like punched in the stomach like really hard. And basically the airbag, I could see out the windshield the whole time. So I know the airbag like came out low, and I feel like it hit me in the stomach, which I'm pretty
So
sure.
you were kind of going. You were probably going towards the windshield and kind of towards the dash.
Yeah, I mean, I had a
as it
seatbelt
kinda,
on
like-
too, but like, I don't know. I never saw the airbag. Normally,
Right.
I guess the airbags are supposed to hit you like in the face.
It's
from
probably
hitting
a
the
bam,
dash
bam
or
kinda
something.
play.
But it happened so fast, and
Yeah.
I never had a chance to like brace for impact or anything. So yeah, we come to a rest. We're like, "Bro, you all right? You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." And he can't get out his. I was in the passenger seat, so we both had to get out of the passenger side. And I got out of the car, and I just like had the wind knocked out of me. I just like had to like lay down like right away. So I just like laid down on the sidewalk.
So
And
it felt like you got the wind knocked. You're like,
that's what it felt like at
Like, kinda
first.
like-
Yeah, but it was just like very uncomfortable and just like, yeah. But I'm thinking the whole time like, yeah, I just got the wind knocked out of me.
but I survived. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, but then like I started feeling better. Like 10 or 15 minutes later, I could like sit up, and then I was like walking around, and then talking to the police, and like just yeah, just collecting my thoughts and figuring everything out. I went and found my phone and
The
just,
ambulance and, like,
yeah, the
fire
ambulance
trucks
were
and-
there. Like no fire trucks, but there was an ambulance there, and then the tow trucks were starting to come, and then we like watched her like get arrested. She'd been drinking or whatever, and then
She wasn't hurt or anything.
yeah, she wasn't hurt. Eros was fine, my buddy that was driving. And then like I don't know, 30 minutes later, I started getting this like pain in my stomach again. So I went and like sat down and just like, I can just like breathe it out. Like I'm gonna be fine. Like don't really want to go to the hospital in Puerto Rico.
Right.
So I'm like just trying to tough it out and like I'm fine. But dude, it just kept getting worse and worse. And the ambulance was still there. So I was like, man, I think I need to go see if like something's wrong. And so I get in the ambulance and bro, on the way there, like I just got like the craziest pain in my abdomen.
Like sharp,
just
kind of
sharp
like
pain, super uncomfortable. Like couldn't any way I sat or laid or like anything. It was just like shooting.
You're just
pain in my-
shifting, trying to find some type of like point to where like
just
ease
so
the pain.
uncomfortable. And then it kind of went away when they brought me in the hospital, but then it happened again.
What do they think? What did the paramedics in the ambulance?
I mean, they didn't
kinda
really
like-
do much. Like when they were there, they wanted to like take my vitals, and I was like, no. At this point, I was like, I thought I was okay, so I was like, no, I'm fine. So I didn't get any treatment in the ambulance either. They just kind of drove me there, and bro, that was like the craziest night. We were there for like 6 or 7 hours or something, and the hospital's so cold. I'm in like a t-shirt and shorts, so like I'm like in crazy pain, like level 10 pain, and then I'm like freezing cold. I'm shivering, like
Shit, yeah.
can't get warm. So like Nick called his dad. He like brought me a blanket. Like an
Who's all
hour,
with
like-
you? Like
I was
Matt?
just with Nick from Lyft, like the owner of Lyft.
Yeah.
He took me up there, or he met me up there, and he speaks Spanish, so he was like talking to like everyone at the hospital. So I couldn't really communicate with the doctors or anything, but we basically just wanted to get a CAT scan to see if I had any like internal injuries.
Right.
So 4 hours later, I finally get a CAT scan, and they gave me some pain meds finally. But like for 4 hours, I was just like in.
What if you were like
crazy
about to
pain.
like bleed out? Like, what if that was like the 4 hours that mattered?
It
And
was
they're just like,
everything was just in slow motion there.
jeez.
And then so yeah, I get the results back, and they say, yeah, we don't see anything on the scan. Like, we can't really do anything else for you. So they sent me home. And then so I went back to Nick's house. They'd give me like 1 shot of morphine when I was there. So I had like, it was 4 o'clock in the morning now,
So now it's what time the crash happened?
like at 7. Probably got there at like 9.
And then you waited in the hotel, and then
we're-
you're probably back at Nick's at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then so I got a little sleep that night, but I woke up like, and the pain would like come and go. Like it would be like uncomfortable all the time, but then I would just get like this shooting pain. And then so there was like a 4 o'clock flight.
So uncomfortable all the time, shooting pain sometimes.
Yeah, it would like ramp up, like where I'd have to like lay down, and then that would hurt. And I'd have to like sit up or like.
So at
bro,
this
I just
point, do
couldn't
you
get
not? Do you
comfortable.
think you're like slightly getting better, or do you think you're like slightly
Well,
getting?
from what the hospital
worse?
told
Like-
me, they're like, you don't have an internal injury. So
right?
I'm like, it's got to
so
be
you're like
something
trying
else.
to
So
fill
I'm like, okay, it's something, something internally, but like they said I was good, so I'm just gonna like try to get home or something. So there was a flight home at 4 o'clock that afternoon, like Friday afternoon, and bro, like 2 o'clock when I was like, I gotta buy this flight and go or not, and I just like couldn't even stand up long enough. I was like, there's no way I can go to the airport and like fake my way onto this flight, because sometimes I just have to like lay down just to like
just to lay,
get comfortable.
Would at this point would you buy a ticket with your miles, or would you still be holding on to those miles?
I was on JetBlue, so I was just buying tickets.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
I mean, I felt like that's an emergency situation where you could use some of your 1.6 million
I would've
miles.
used some
but
miles.
Even Grubb's not coming up off his miles.
he's like, I'll buy this
on the
ticket.
bed
I
of
ain't
death,
scared.
he's not coming up.
All right, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. So I didn't get on that flight. And then like looking back, luckily I didn't, because I found out later, if you have an
pressure?
internal injury and you get in a pressurized cabin, it can like
Oh no!
can-
It pushes it, it squeezes it out or something.
yeah, it can be like fatal. So
Oh wow!
luckily I didn't get on that flight. But I'm talking to my girlfriend Jordan at home, and she's a nurse, and she's like, "Yeah, it sounds
damn,
sounds like something's wrong. Like I'll come down there and we'll
So
see."
she flew down that night
yeah,
and was
so-
down there the next day.
So she flew down. She got in at like 3 a.m. At this point, like I can't sleep. My stomach is like fully distended, which I didn't even know what distension was, but like it's basically all this fluids like building up in your stomach, and it's like pushing out like on your stomach. And I had this like point around my belly button. Like,
Whoa,
bro, it looked crazy.
He tripping?
I still like didn't know what was going on. I've never been in an accident like this. It's all internal, so you don't see anything. So you're just like, I don't know, I'll get
and
better.
they told you you're fine on the CAT scan, so they're like,
I'm
so now
I'm
you're
yeah, something's gonna heal. It's gonna be fine.
Damn.
So she gets there at like 3 a.m. I was up all night that night. Like I'd like get in the shower and then I'd like go sit in this chair that was like really straight back, and I'd like get comfortable there for a little bit, and then I'd have to like lay down, but I'm so uncomfortable and in so much pain. As soon as she gets there, she's like, "Oh my God, like you're dying, like you need to go to the hospital right now."
Right now.
So Nick was up with me all night the night before, so I called Nick's dad, and so he came and picked us up, and we went to this other hospital like on the west side of the island,
Further away.
It's like an hour and a half south of Aguadilla. And so we go there. We get there at like 7 a.m. or something, and I get another CAT scan there. And I mean, just from the distension, they knew something was wrong. But they give me a CAT scan. They're like, "Yeah, you have a serious internal injury. You need to go like straight to the trauma center in San Juan." So they tried to find me a helicopter to like fly me there because of how serious it was. Because like my kidneys were starting to shut down. I had like low blood pressure. Like
Jesus.
What?
Like,
so they didn't even trust the drive to the we's got to get there.
Well, they wanted to get me there as fast as possible, but they couldn't get a helicopter, so they put me in another ambulance.
Oh man.
2.5 hour drive to San Juan. I don't even. I remember getting in the ambulance, and then I don't remember any of the drive.
Did they sedate you kind of, or is it like?
I did get
like
one shot of morphine at the hospital there, so that's probably had something
Yeah.
to do with it. But yeah, so then I don't remember getting wheeled into the hospital in San Juan. The last thing I remember is I'm on the like gurney or whatever, and they're like, "Okay, we got to cut all your clothes off." And I went on that trip with just like a backpack, and I'm like, I only have one pair of pants. I'm thinking like I'm gonna like get out of the hospital like in a day or something, you know. I have no idea the surgery that I'm like going in for. And I'm like, "Oh man, it's the only pair of pants I brought on this trip. Like, you mind if I just take them off?" But they're trying to like rush me into surgery, you know. So the doctor's like, "Yeah, I guess." So I take my pants off. They cut my shirt off. They cut my boxer off. So now I'm like sitting there like naked in front of everybody. And then they put a catheter in. That's like the last thing I remember. And that's like so painful, dude. I was like, "What?"
After all the pain that you spent, that was more painful than what you spent.
Up. That's like the last thing I remember. And I remember seeing Jordan and Nick like right before they wheeled me in, and then basically.
What was the surgery that you had that like they were doing? Jordan was worried that you were going to be in sepsis?
Let's not get ahead of it. I want to talk about this catheter a little bit more.
It was crazy. So that woke me up a little bit, but then basically,
you almost had sepsis. Is that what they were worried about?
Yeah,
like,
I was going septic. Like
septic.
My kidneys were failing. My blood pressure was super low. Like everything was like starting to shut down. I mean, I've basically been leaking fluid in my body for 2 days at that point.
From what though? What was?
I had I had 2 bowel perforations in my small intestine, probably from the airbag. But they basically have to do an exploratory surgery because you can't really see where the holes are or whatever. So they basically cut your entire stomach open and pull all your guts out and start looking around for where the tears are. And I have all this like bile basically in my stomach. So it was like a 4-hour surgery just to like get all the infection and get all that stuff out of there. But I have like a 10-inch incision in my stomach. So they basically like opened me up the whole way. And they found like, 2 tears in my small intestine. They were like 4 inches apart or 3 or 4 inches apart. So they cut those out and then reattached it like in one place. And then they basically left my stomach open for 30 hours after that. So I'm like on a breathe.
They didn't sew you up.
No, because they have to make sure that they got like all of it. Because you have all this intestines and
they
all this stuff.
And they wanted to make sure that whatever you ate,
they staple me up and then I start like distending again
doing it
or whatever.
Again, right?
So I'm on a breathing tube. I'm basically in a coma, like a sedated
induced coma.
For 30 hours?
Not a full coma, but like just like on pain meds, just like keeping me asleep.
Right.
Not stitched up. Like
No.
it's probably
Bro,
just
I have, like,
flapping.
What do they put,
Bro,
like fillers and stuff? Like
No,
in
they
there?
tape your skin to like your other skin over here. So I have scars over here, like on the side. So it was basically like
10-inch zip.
Yeah,
and
10
then
inches
open
and then
up
like 6 inches wide. And they just put a piece of like plastic over it.
Oh my
30
God.
hours.
God,
Obviously,
that's
I don't remember
crazy.
any of this, but like my mom and Jordan like went down there and
Saw
saw
that.
me like that, and they had me like just lay down on the.
We're gonna
screen.
put up a picture right here if y'all want to see. No, I'm just joking.
I wish I had pictures of
Jesus,
that.
that's
No, you
so
don't see that.
wild.
And then,
Fucking
then after 30 hours, then they stapled me up, and then they like woke me up. So I wake up and I'm thinking, okay, it's Saturday surgery. It's Sunday, right? It's like Monday night. I've
You're
been
like,
out
what
for
day
like
is it?
2 days, and like obviously I've gone crazy pain meds. Like I can't move. Like I can't pee. I can't do anything. You know, like I peed in a bottle for 2 weeks. Like, but for the first like 5 days, I was
they
like
got you
in the
numbed up,
ICU.
huh?
Like I mean, you can't move. Like I mean, your body's just been through so much, and you're hooked up to all these machines. And I had like 3 or 4 IVs. Like I had double IVs like in both my arms for like a week, like just with fluids and painkillers and
Man,
all this stuff.
Thank God Jordan's a nurse, dude, and like pulled the trigger and come down there. Like I've told her this. I looked at her. I go, I mean, everyone knows, but like she literally.
No, she saved my life.
I don't think like if she would have dragged feet, and I'll get a 9 a.m. flight, and I'll get down there at 4 the
just
next
the chance
day.
that
Like
there was a
I
flight
just,
that night is so crazy.
it's yeah, man.
That is.
I mean,
That
I
is
yeah.
It was very.
I probably would have died on Nick's couch on Saturday if she didn't show up.
Holy shit.
Because I would have gone
Jesus.
septic, and then we were still 2 hours from San Juan. So, yeah, dude. it's
Man, that's so
crazy.
cool. That's amazing that she did that and got there. And like you said, she landed at 3 a.m. Like, what flights get in at?
Yeah,
2
they have weird
a.m.?
flights
Like,
down
it's
there,
like
but
that's so
just
Right.
and they're
crazy.
different every day too. So there was just one that left at 10, got in at 3, and or whatever,
that's
11
amazing.
or something. But yeah, it was just like perfect.
That's a
timing.
keeper.
And
That's
you
a
knew-
keeper button.
Yeah, you might
Yeah,
have.
she's great. Yeah.
Have to Beyonce that.
So
one.
and then yeah, she came down like she's working at the hospital in Daytona, but she came down like I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. She came down like 3 different times. Like she'd go home and work and then come like right back down. My parents were there the whole time. Yeah, it was crazy. Dude.
Man, what a crazy.
Yeah. And then I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And then obviously like none of your bowels work like after something like that. So all this fluid is still like building up. So I had this NG tube. They basically stick this tube up your nose and then all the way down your throat into your stomach. And I was awake when they put it
Is
in.
that how they feed you? Like when you're sedated?
No,
kinda?
they're just sucking out like all the
Oh.
bile like out of your stomach and everything. It's like this green bile that they just like suck out through your nose.
Damn.
But dude, putting that thing in was so gnarly too. She like
Worse than the catheter.
well, I wake up and I have like the worst like cotton mouth. My lips are all chapped, like, and I can't drink water or anything. I can't
Because you
drink
can't
anything.
pass anything.
Well, they're giving me yeah, they don't want any like fluids
Right.
down there. So like the nurses would give me like a dropper of water and just put water in my mouth, and then I have to like spit it out.
Yeah, I would be like,
For-
yeah, right. I was
For
swallowing that
3
drop
days,
of
dude. I mean, I was
For
getting,
3
but I'm getting
days?
like little sips of water basically for like 3 days.
You're just
But
full
what are
survivor.
you eating from? Are they giving?
yeah,
do you
I'm on,
have a
like,
tube?
fluids.
You have a tube?
No, like, through the
just
IV.
IV.
Through the IVs.
So,
But then I start getting distended, so they put this NG tube down my throat. And so they're like, okay, put a little water in your mouth. We're going to stick this thing up your nose. And then when we say swallow, like just start swallowing. We got to push this thing all the way down to your stomach. And I'm like, okay. So I have my mouth full of water. She like puts it, she's like, you ready? She goes, okay, start swallowing. And she starts pushing this NG tube. And I'm just feeling this thing just go like down my throat, like just clicking all the way down or whatever. And then it dude, it's so
What a
painful. But
crazy-
as soon as they hook up the pump and start pumping all that stuff out, you feel like so much better because
You
it's
can
getting
just
rid
feel
of
it relieved.
yeah, it's sucking out like all this stuff. But you have this hose like hanging out of your nose for
That's pretty
like
cool.
weeks.
That was pretty cool.
Dude, it's crazy.
Damn, dude.
Such a crazy experience.
That is
Yeah.
what.
And then you.
That's like because you've never really had like a real crazy injury.
No.
Like you never like did your ACL. You never like went in or like
No.
anesthesia or kind of in maybe
I had
some
my knee
molars.
scoped like back when I wakeboarded twice. But,
Yeah, we're not kind
but
of.
no, yeah, nothing really.
Damn.
And never been in a big car accident like that or anything. Got rear-ended with Phil Sovin and Chad one time in Texas, but but no like airbags or any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's gnarly. I don't think I've ever been in. I don't think I've ever had airbags pop on
Yeah.
me either.
It's so
I heard they're
Being-
gnarly. I heard they're real gnarly.
yeah.
How are you? You're 44,
44.
44?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've never been like really injured, like really like does that like being 44 and having that happen like for the first time, especially since like I'd imagine like you always get better and better, faster and faster at every like thing you do. Like this had to have been like, was this the first time it felt like you got like checked up or like what do you like? Does that do anything to your like mental like
I mean,
psyche or like how do you feel after this? Like
I always
being
felt,
invincible before
yeah, I always
this and
felt like a
now?
little invincible, you know? I was like, oh, I can always avoid whatever that's going to happen or whatever. But yeah, if you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, it just in a second, your whole life can change, you know? And you can't control everything. So yeah, I had a lot of time to think in the hospital about it. And then I was like, man, I just got to, I guess, make the best of a bad situation, you know? Like I haven't taken any time off. Like I'm always on the move. I'm always doing this. So I'm like, okay, I'll just take a couple months and just kind
A
of
couple months. Dude, you almost died 2 months ago. You could take 6 months
Yeah.
off and go, but you're already going to you're already going to Fiji.
well, we
you're
had this
already
Fiji
foiling again.
we had this Fiji trip planned since last year. It's already paid for a whole deal, and it was like February 1st. So I was like, okay, that's my goal to like get back, and I'm going on the trip either way, but I want to like foil when I'm there and stuff. So yeah, I didn't do anything.
So you had a goal that you wanted to try to start to do some minor rehab and kind of get back, and
yeah, I couldn't do anything for at least 6 weeks. Like I was in the hospital for 2.
no shit, dude.
He says 6 weeks like a really long time. It's like, oh, it's 6 weeks. Like at 5 weeks, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I can get out of here tomorrow. But no, I had to wait 6 weeks.
Well, even
Can we show the picture of your zipper? We won't show, like, we'll bring it in. No, I mean, I don't think we have it, but we'll bring it up on the YouTube.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Yeah, Grubb had a lot of footage to look at. If you can listen to this on Spotify and iTunes and Amazon, but like I watched the YouTube of this because you got some really crazy visual, stunts through the days. Definitely a good YouTube watch.
Which I mean, you said that like it was the first realization of like, whoa, this was like crazy. But I've always had this. It's like a small theory that like it's you and Watson that fit into the category most. But it's like you guys are just like insanely lucky, or it's this amazing just talented like thing. But I've always been like, man, Grubb and Watson are just the lucky. They're handsome, they're talented, they get all the good deals. Like
they get
every
really
time,
good golf bounces.
They get great golf bounces. Everything that they do, I can watch from a distance and go, that wouldn't have happened to me that way. And it's like it's amazing. And I wanted to know, how do you do it? How do you do it? What is it? Is it manifested, or is it
some vampire stuff?
It is some vampire stuff. That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was.
And this is an inside joke. Well, it's not even inside because we've talked about it for to give the listeners an insight. I've always joked that Grubb is a secret vampire because Grubb, the whole Pointless crew, we all got older, we all aged, but Grubb seems to like get better looking, better at everything he does, more talented, more travels more, just never slows down. And I'm like, and he sleeps like a freaking bat, dude. Like the flight to Dubai, that's just him sitting there in the seat. If you watch him sleep, it's like literally he's in a casket. Oh, yeah. He should hang by his toes. Like,
there's
seriously,
numerous stories of him just sleeping upright, just.
Like, I seriously think Grubb is about 1,247 years old, and I still believe it to this day. And for the fact that airbag didn't kill you just goes as a testament to my theory that nothing can kill Grubb, even a little bit of reality. It was close. Huh?
I mean, I didn't even realize how close it was. And,
not even to really joke about. I mean, we're laughing now because they're 2 months and you're fine. You're sitting here having a beers. Cheers. But
cheers
not here.
We get in on it.
But yeah, man, it's crazy to think like that.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it was bad, but it could have been a lot worse. So I still feel pretty lucky, and the recovery wasn't.
As Travis Prisano says, dude, for how bad that went, it went really well.
Pretty good.
How bad that went really well.
Yeah, you got to take the positives from it, and I had a lot of time to just.
How are the burgers tasting, or how's the meat?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Grubb needed to protein up. You lost a lot. How much weight did you lose through this whole
20 pounds.
And you don't have 20 pounds to lose. Grubb's like negative 3% body fat, anyways.
Yeah, I was down to 135 pounds, just skin and bones. And for the last 13 years, I've only eaten. I was vegetarian for a year or two, and then I just started eating fish, and I had all this weight to put back on. I'm like, I can't eat fish every day, so. Yeah, I started eating some steak, and
damn, that would have been.
How good was the first steak? What was the first meal? Burger? No, so what was the first meal? Whenever they were like, "Hey, you got to start putting some meat in your diet," and they were like, "Okay," and you were like, "What do I go with?" Well, did you go smash burger straight away, or did you go like a nice filet mignon from like Linda's?
Well, funny enough, the weekend before the accident, I went to Dishman's wedding, and we're up in Maryland, and super nice wedding, and.
That looked amazing.
Yeah, it was super, super nice. I got the fish at that one, but Jordy got the steak. She had this nice fillet or whatever, and we had a couple drinks. She's like, "Why don't you try this steak?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I was like, "Yeah, let me try it." So I had a piece of steak at Dishman's wedding. I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty good. I haven't had that in a while."
You're just like,
and then the next weekend, I get in this accident, and then. So when I started eating like solid foods again, I was like, maybe I'll try some more steak.
I remember when you got back in town, Paige, my fiance, she was like, Jordan, Grubb just got back in town. They want us to come over and do some dinner. I was like, he's eating burgers. I just you told me he was eating burgers. I go, so we're gonna come over and like I can finally get to have a steak or a burger with Grubb.
Yeah.
And we get over there and what do we cook? Fish. It was great. It was great. It was great. But
Still trying to clean out the freezer with all the fish. Yeah.
are you still? Can I still eat a burger with you, or are we too far past that?
Dude, I've been kind of obsessed with smash burgers.
Let's see the
lately.
muscles, dude. Let's see the
Where's your
muscles.
smash burger? What's your smash burger preference these days?
Dude, you know what's a good smash burger? Is Yellow Dog.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Going
You had
yellow
that?
dog?
Bro, I've been getting it over at
What
Smyrna
about?
a bunch.
But where you stand on like a Shake Shack? You
I
like
had some.
in this
I had
Shake
Shake Shack in the Bahamas. That one's pretty solid.
Or
had
what
had
about
an
this?
In-N-Out when I went and saw Bear in
Oh,
California.
In-N-Out's got a good one.
Yeah.
I was at Culver's. I don't know if your dad even told you this, but I was at Culver's.
Oh, he did
ordering,
tell me this.
And your dad was behind me in line, and he steps up and goes, Shane Bonifay? And I go, yeah. And like I
Bro,
just
he
didn't put it
did
together,
tell me
and he was
that.
like, Mr. Grubb, Brian's dad. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, I'm just getting some burgers here. And I was like, Culver's has got a great
I can't believe you met him at Culver's. That is
Yeah.
the most
And
random.
I can't believe you recognize Shane. He hasn't seen him with a beard. He hasn't
Oh,
seen
dude,
him in like 10 years. And he's
I
like,
stay incognito. Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to like.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, no, it was really nice. And I saw him, and it was right whenever you got back. It was like
Yeah,
shortly
they were-
after.
my parents stayed at
And
my
he
house
was
for a
like-
week
and
when
he
I
was
got
like,
home.
"Yeah, I'm just grabbing some burgers." And I was like, "Well, try the crinkle cut fries." dude." Like,
you just
they
recommend
got
them.
the cheese dipping sauce and like a Culver's has got a nice.
Their cheese
smash
curds
burgers.
are really good.
Yeah, they've got some good stuff. Culver's.
yeah, I haven't been there
A
yet.
lot of people
Well, I had
knock
that
it.
burger, but
A lot of people knock it.
That-
Culver's, if you're listening. Send
Yeah, we
some,
want to shout out to
coupons
our future sponsor, Culver's.
Yeah.
Migrating down to
burgers.
the south from the Midwest.
No, but it was really funny. He was like, and I didn't recognize him at all. He's like, Shade? I was like, yeah. He was like, Mr. Grubb. And I was like, oh my God. Like, this is
Yeah.
awesome. It's so good
yeah,
to see
he
you.
Oh,
told me that.
You know who makes a good smash burger is Bob Sichel, dude. Over the last year,
Bob-
we've crushed some. We
Really?
probably went through like 10 rounds of smash burgers, like
It's the best.
yeah,
burger.
trying to get them down.
Double smash burger. Those
Yeah.
thick burgers are no good.
Love it.
Let's give a shout out to Bob Sichel
Yeah.
right now because
Yeah,
Bob
Bob.
Sichel's actually going through fight of his life right now with battling cancer.
Yeah.
And we're going to put up a GoFundMe link right now. And, you know, he could use all the help that we can get. Anything you got. You know, the whole industry. We all love Bob. He's been such a staple to the wakeboard
Such
industry.
a generous guy. He's been one
He's-
of the nicest. Like, there's not one person in the industry that would ever have a bad word to say about Bob. Like, always helped out with every
True
photo shoot.
wakeboarder's wakeboarder.
Yeah.
Like he's
Everybody
like
loved him.
most
Super
reliable
steezy,
dude.
super
He lives out
awesome.
here in Claremont. I hang with him all the time. One of my
Yeah.
best friends.
Yeah.
Love him, man. But yeah,
But
he's
yeah.
going through it right now. So if you can donate to Bob, that would be
That would be really awesome.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a heavy one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, man. What
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, it's
I
been
think
a-
that was a great time.
that was a great
I
first
mean, I'll
episode.
crack another
man.
beer, but that
Don't
doesn't
threaten-
mean
don't put a
we're
ceiling
not
on
done.
Shane.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything
Yeah,
you want
I'll
to more?
crash
You
one
want
more
anything you
beer,
want to
guys.
talk about? Okay. Grubb's cracking another beer, dude. This thing ain't over yet.
Yeah, I mean, what else can we talk about?
I want to. I grabbed these photos of when we were on the Florida run trip down in the Keys when we did the Keys
Some
run.
of those videos you got.
When we did the Keys run, this was a crazy one. This is I had this. There's these bridges with these archways, and there's probably only like 20. Yeah, there's probably like only 20 feet between this. So I had Grubb. I was like, Grubb, you have to go like what? We have to go wide open because we need the wake to be as narrow as it is behind. And then I need you to like hug like the far right side because I'm barely going to have room at like 70 feet to like make the gap. So, and we haven't tested. I eyeballed it up and then I went and got you. I was like, I think I got something. And then so we kind of like went out there. Grubb took off the hat for this one because we're
going fast.
we're
I was
ripping
full throttle.
And really, I think about this point I knew I had enough room, but like leading up to it, I was
gets
like,
narrower as you get
yeah,
in there.
I literally thought I was going to have to like throw the rope, but that's how kind of you can see the wake kind of like right to the right, and then I could like literally almost like touch the wall on that one. Photos by Bear, the Golden Bear, Brian Soderlund.
Oh, yeah.
But that is a sketchy one because it's like even on that barefoot stuff that you do, you don't really know how it's going to go. You can only sort of predict on a little bit of it. Like even the fact that you're like, Grubb, you got to hug the right side so I can get over here on the left or whatever. But like,
Not a lot of room for don't
Yeah.
do not hit anything going that fast. Is rule number.
It felt
rule number
narrow
one.
to me too.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
both
well,
on the wall.
Well, I needed you to. I Grubb. I need you to like really shimmy. Like don't.
Yeah.
I need every few feet that you can like give me on this one.
yeah, no, that one's really cool.
Did we do that twice? just one?
I think we did do it. I think we did do it
Yeah,
twice.
we did.
Bear's always going to ask for one more.
Yeah.
One more.
What about this? What about this, Grubb? What's it like hanging out with this legend?
Oh wow, look at that photo.
Laird
Yeah,
Hamilton.
Laird Hamilton in his garage. That was a sick trip.
Is this like when you first kind of like first time you foiled in Hawaii and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I went out there with Nick from Lyft. It was the first time Nick had met Laird and stuff. He'd been building them some foils and stuff for a while, and
What a legend.
so yeah, it was kind of a crazy story. So we show up. Well, Nick got there the day before, and they did like the
Damn,
cold
look at that
cold
garage.
plunge. Yeah, bro, it's the sickest garage. He's got like sauna and cold plunges all in the back and stuff. But
Oh, Laird works out?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, drink some coffee.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you have a cup of coffee over there or what, buddy?
But yeah, so he never met Nick before, and then yeah, I kind of show up with Nick or whatever, and so Laird and Benny's like one of his tow partners out there, rides for Lyft too. He basically just like, okay, let's go foil, like just gives us a ski and is like, okay, let's see if you guys can hang, kind of thing.
Right.
So like Nick and I don't know. He goes, bro, I think they're testing us. Like,
Are you on an e-foil or are you
no,
getting
we're
towed
tow
behind
foiling
tow
in the
foiling?
bay up in like
Right, yeah.
in
This
Kauai.
is true tester.
And it's like
throw the boys in the
it's
pocket
like
and see
big
how they-
swell, but like windy day, like not clean surf, whatever. And Nick's like, yeah, I think they're testing us. Like, let's like make this
Like,
look
don't
good.
fuck up.
Yeah, like, don't fuck up. Don't flip the ski.
Don't
like,
breach it. Yeah.
And we went out there, bro, and had so much fun. Like we got so many waves, and then then we got to hang with Laird for like.
Is this the same
3
time?
days.
Like the same little trip?
no, this
or-
is-
no,
this
is
is more
different. Y'all
recent,
just
yeah.
e-foiling. Yeah.
Grubby looking like a ghostly
that's
vampire.
Colin Gwynn, the guy that does gel blasters. But yeah, that's down in
That's a
Puerto.
cool photo. I really
is
like
sick.
Yeah, Rodrigo took that one. That one's pretty sick.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Rodrigo took all the bungee. I forgot to give him a shout out earlier on all the bungee shots. Shout out Rodrigo. Sent me a bunch of photos to pepper through this episode.
Yeah, and thank you, Rod, for giving me tips on my golf game. Really appreciate that.
It didn't help.
Yeah, the e-foils are so fun. Got the new e-foil I told you about, the Lift X.
She's ripping.
Dude, so sick. Yeah, it's like designed for like riding in the surf and stuff, but it's basically the same size as like a prone board. So super narrow. So like, the old e-foils were like a little wider, so they took a little bit longer to like roll and turn and stuff, and they're heavier. So these ones are super light, and man, like
Does it
folding
feel different having a lot lighter board and kind of like swing weight wise? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. Like when you're on the waves, like, yeah, the board feels a little heavier than like a normal board, but they make it with like a high mount motor and a low mount motor, but they both have a folding prop. So even the low mount, when you let off the power, like
It truly glides.
Yeah, you can fully like glide, and you can pump them, and yeah. So those boards are just coming out right now, but they're awesome. I've gotten a few sessions on them, but yeah, fun to ride down in Puerto Rico, and yeah. Been riding them
What's
before.
next for you, bud?
yeah.
Oh, this year?
No, here in the next. I know you got something
Oh.
planned in the next few weeks or something.
No, we want the what's next for the next 3 days.
3 days.
No.
Yeah, we're doing Foil Surf Race League in
See,
Cocoa Beach
something
this
is
weekend.
something is
Yeah.
happening in 3 days.
Yeah, we're putting on an event in Cocoa Beach this weekend, a little foil race. We got like 70 people signed up. So yeah, we were talking about that earlier, but yeah, it's a fun weekend.
Any
All right,
any
hey.
massive projects?
Same question. Yeah, same question. Let's step back
Let's
way
zoom it
far.
back a little
Let's
bit.
step back.
I mean, yeah, we got a few ideas that we're working on, but nothing set yet. But yeah, we got a few ideas for some Red Bull
Give
stuff.
us like don't give us what it is, but like
Give us a little teaser.
yeah, a little tease,
little-
just
give
so
a little
like
bit.
whenever it happens,
Just get a little
people can
nibble.
go, "Oh,
No.
that's what he was talking about." Like be like,
A little nibble of the
it,
biscuit.
It involves a carrot. It involves a winch, whatever. Like like something like
Blue
nothing-
water sunscreen and
blue
a handle.
water. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like,
Well, I like the combination of flying and riding. So we're kind of
ooh, that's our puzzle. That's a puzzle to the
Ooh,
list.
that is.
Flying and riding.
flying.
Let's
and riding.
hear some comments in the
Yeah, let's see what
you
any
guys
any
think.
predictions on Grubb's next stunt. I wanna
I love
read.
it. Get another one, buddy. Yeah. No, I love it. I think we had a great time. That was a
Blast,
good
man.
time. Don't forget that little $5 scratch.
Oh yeah, that's a
And I still am debating on who won that because I gave a lot of good tips. I think Grubb just won because I was like so good at giving answers.
I'm more lucky than you.
I think Shane. Yeah, that's
So it's
true.
luck.
He's gonna
so
get
it's
it.
luck. It's
He admitted
not
it.
just a thing. It's not just like it is a luck thing. It's not. See, I've wondered this, and I say this to a lot of people. Like whenever I see something lucky happen, I go, "That's Grubb and Watson luck right there." You should appreciate that because that level of luck.
Yeah, but Shane, I always think
My
like you read
my
it.
luck is your average. Your good luck is like it's above. It's crazy. It's hard to.
I did notice that anytime Watson got a really good balance in golf, Shane was playing him, and we had skin in it. Like Shane would get, man, Watson always get the best fucking bouncer and sprinkler heads, and you kick it off of trees and come back in, and his driver sucks, his swing sucks, but it's fucking beating me by.
Let me have my excuses because I've got to have something because I don't have luck like this guy.
Watson just gives you that look.
Yeah, a little shit eating grin.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing. But I always loved it, and that's always why I've hung out next to you two for a long time. Is because if I can just get a little kiss of that luck, I'm in there.
Just a little pixie dust from
just
Grubb.
a little bit. I hung on Watson's coattails for a long time.
You should have. I think your best bet is having Grubb bite you on the neck and become a vampire right now,
Right?
dude. Do we just figure it
Like,
out, Shane?
yeah.
You just become.
I mean, don't put it to me. I would ask for that.
No
see,
duty you ask for it.
This thing's bad. I need some love here. I need some luck.
Yeah, a lot more than that.
That's a fact. Probably should stop having some of these.
All right, boys. Well, let's cheer it up. Cheers it up, man. This is it's been a good first episode. I think we're gonna wrap this thing up, man.
Yeah, thanks, Parks.
Grubb,
Congrats on finally
dude.
getting the podcast going.
Yeah, dude. We finally did it. We got Banter Studios, Media House.
Yeah, I've been waiting a long time to do your podcast.
Yeah, man. You're yeah. We've been talking about it for a minute, but we finally got her fired up, back up. But you've been a good first guest, man. You're obviously one of my best friends. You're a groomsman in my wedding.
That's right.
Getting married August 30th. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. And you're just a national treasure to the water sports industry, man.
Thanks.
Thank you. I mean, we didn't even talk about all the judging you did, but I mean, not only do you keep on doing crazy shit and being you and evolving into something that we can't put our finger on if we try, but you truly give back. I've been with you through some of the Malibu experiences and judging with you, and like, you know, what you do and give back to the sport. It goes a long way, man. It's been a long ride, a lot of decades.
Yeah.
We all appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we all dedicated our lives to this sport and water sports, and so yeah, the more we can give back and get more people into the sport, and
Right, get some eyes on it.
You know, so that's the least we can do.
And this won't be the last time you're in the studio.
No, 100%
I know we're going to get
Yeah.
Chad Sharp in here, and there's no better.
man.
I think you would be a great
assistant.
accompaniment when we have
Yeah.
Chad. Chad is the most. You were pretty elusive to get on a podcast, but Chad is even more elusive to try to get on a podcast. But ladies and gentlemen, we will lock him down. Chad Sharp will be here.
I definitely want to be there for that.
Yeah, we need you there for that. 'Cause I want you contradicting almost everything that Chad's saying. It's like, well, it wasn't like this, and you're like, it was like that.
We've been on a lot of crazy trips together. Yeah.
Well, good
He's the
stuff.
best.
That was fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for everyone listening and tuning in to the first episode of the Bonifay Banter. Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Grubb.
Yeah, man.
And all the Patreon members. We don't really have any at this moment as I'm speaking it, but as this thing gets going, we're trying to keep it going, and we need all the support we can get. So if you can get behind, be a Bonifay backer, and if you want to be a top shelf member, which is where we're going to do an episode, spin the wheel to win, spin to win. So we're going to take if you're a top shelf member, we're going to put your name up on a wheel. We're going to spin it, and then we're going to give away all kind of
Really cool
prizes,
stuff.
really cool
good
stuff through the episodes, and we're actually giving away the print of Grubb from Wake Base, carving through the pool.
Sweet.
Signed print from Brian Grubb.
One of one.
One of one. Grubb's got it on the wall. You should too.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up, boys.
Yeah, check it. What's up?
This is just an outro music, man.
That's all right. Well, follow us on all the media outlets.
All
that
the things.
Instagrams, the
Instagram,
YouTube.
like, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the things. Yeah, we're not really good at saying all this shit right now, but we will
figure
get
it
better. All right. Love you, Grubb. Love you, Shane.
Yeah, boys.
Too much fun.
Thanks, guys.
Bonifay Banter, episode 1 in the books.